Buongiorno e benvenuti a tutti alla finalissima di questa Extreme Shot Italia 4. Quest'oggi i tiratori, i primi 20 classificati nelle giornate precedenti si contenderanno il podio col bersagli fino a 2000 metri. Siamo qui insieme a Danilo di VR e Paul Phillips per commentare questa finalissima. Buongiorno ragazzi.
Buongiorno, good morning.
Ancora qualche minuto dovremo essere pronti a partire con il primo tiratore.
So the first one is ready, and I believe he's going to shoot his first round. So the first round of today. And he got rifle talks.
Yeah,
Done it.
this morning there's still some sun in his vision. As you can notice, there's a lot of sunlight on his head, so he's going to be really battling that optic to make sure he can see clearly. The sun's right in his eyes, so for both the shooter and the spotter, they're going to be challenged with trying to see where it hits and also getting a good, crisp, clean sight picture.
Come diceva Paul, questa mattina sicuramente quello che darà da filo da torcere ai tiratori e spotter sarà il sole. Hanno il sole abbastanza in faccia, mentre il vento questa mattina è quasi assente. Vediamo i primi due colpi che non sono andati a segno.
Alors, pour expliquer en français la petite difficulté qu'il y a ce matin, ce que expliquait Paul Phillips. Hi guys, I'm very sorry, this is the French guys.
Yeah, we know.
Et il expliquait, il expliquait que ils ont le soleil en fait face à eux dans les yeux et c'est pas forcément évident avec la cible qui se trouve à l'ombre. I translate a little bit in French.
Yeah. You did right.
Vediamo dalla regia se ci mostrano anche la grafica per poter vedere bersagli ed impatti. Ricordiamo che quest'oggi sono 8 colpi, il tempo sono 7 minuti, sono 3 colpi a 1860 metri e 5 colpi a 2000.
Il y a quelque chose ce qui est intéressant sur cette cible, à partir de 1860 mètres, c'est que ça permet à la fois de se régler pour la cible à 2000 mètres, mais surtout c'est qu'on rentre dans une zone qui est transsonique et subsonique. Ce qui fait que c'est là qu'on va voir au niveau de la dispersion de nos impacts, la régularité de notre carabine et d'autres munitions.
Per la regia,
C'est une distance vraiment intéressante. Hop, sorry.
no, don't worry. Per la regia se ci controllano la grafica perché risultano i nomi sbagliati.
Okay, siamo intanto. In the meantime, we are now. So the first target was 3 miss. We're going to pass on the 2,000 meter target. It's really an extreme shot. We have to say it's really an extreme shot. We see many videos of people shooting even 3,000, 4,000 meters, but when we get those distances, it's not that easy to hit the target, and especially with these light conditions that are not really favorable.
It's always different. It's always different when you're on the clock and at a competition on demand. It's much more difficult than, cherry picking conditions and shooting more rounds. But it's much different when you're in a competition setting to impact targets at 2,000 yards and beyond.
At this distance, we have to say you overcome the transonic barrier. So it's the moment where the bullet that is flying actually supersonic is going to go subsonic. And in this moment, the bullet has like an instability in the air. And it's really typical that during this phase, if there is wind or something, you're going to lose your round. And it's really important the work of the spotter behind it needs to be able to read the trace and then understand what is the problem and providing the proper correction. So
One of the biggest underrated skill sets is the spotter. You have to see the impact. If you don't see the impact, you have no idea where to adjust. So really, there's a lot of heavy lifting for the spotter. He has to see the impact.
Come
Ce que
diceva,
disait Paul Phillips, justement, c'est que c'est là où toute la difficulté du travail du spotter, c'est de voir les impacts et de pouvoir, justement, pour pouvoir donner une correction. Sorry, guys.
no.
no, don't worry.
Ci
Traduco
volevi
anch'io
dire,
in
Nicola?
italiano che
Bravo.
come diceva Paul, la parte più difficile del gioco è riuscire a vedere, per lo spot, riuscire a vedere l'impatto. Parlavo ieri con qualche tiratore che spara qui sul campo, che quindi si sono allenati nei mesi precedenti e ci dicevano che proprio appunto il bersaglio numero 7, come abbiamo potuto vedere anche ieri dal miglio, sulla parte retro del bersaglio c'è del ghiaione dove è molto difficile vedere il punto di impatto, specialmente il mattino presto dovuto alla luce in faccia e soprattutto in questi casi anche all'umidità che fa durante la notte, che bagna il terreno e evita di far alzare lo sbuffo di polvere. Come possiamo vedere dalla telecamera non abbiamo visto praticamente nulla. Ricordiamo anche che i tiratori si stanno accingendo a tirare su delle piastre MT Target, che è il nostro sponsor, come anche tutti gli altri che potete vedere sulla grafica retrostante i tiratori.
So, what do you think about the weather today and the condition for the distance?
The conditions are wonderful right now. I mean, it's less than probably 3-4 miles per hour, if that. The only thing that is struggling for him, as I can see in the spotter, is the sun is right in our eyes. So that's going to be our biggest challenge today, is the sunlight.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So you see that we have time between the shot and the impact. Just for whoever is not within the sport and is watching us, the flight time of the bullet from this distance, it's about quite 3 seconds, more or less, a little bit less than 3 seconds. And then it depends, of course, what kind of munition you have, how did they charge, etc. But if you consider that they start from a barrel speed that is going like from 850 meters per second up to 950, I would say, in this competition was. So you can then make your easy math to understand what's the flight time for this round. Which is something that you normally don't see on a movie.
Yeah, it was the last year when I made the competition. I remember the fly of my bullet was around 4 seconds for go to the 2,000 meters.
Yeah, because of course when he starts, he has this speed, but then when he gets while he's flying, he reduces the speed.
Oh yeah.
partire il tempo quando escono loro, non quando entriamo noi.
Yeah, you have to count off in your head when you're spotting the time of flight. You know, if it's 3.5 seconds, what I like to do is I just like to focus 1001, 1002, and I should open my eyes around 1002 and just kind of relax so that you're not blinking when that bullet might hit. So
Yeah.
you have to really concentrate and focus to make sure that your eyes are open and you're just kind of just generally looking in the, you're not literally looking at the plate and focusing on the plate. You're just kind of looking at the land, and then you'll see a little signature that pops up. And it's always helpful to watch for the trace, because then even if you don't have an impact, if you watch the swirl or the trace, you can know that you're on the right side or left side of the target. So at least you can make adjustment off what you see for trace.
Totally agree. Do you want to make the translation in Italian? Or?
Oh.
No. Praticamente stavamo dicendo che ma mi sentite voi?
Sì.
17.1.
Stavamo dicendo che
Bersaglio 6 rosso.
potete vedere il tiratore spara e poi passano la visione sul bersaglio, e questo è perché c'è il tempo di volo del proiettile. Molte persone non ci pensano, ma sparare a 2000 metri significa che un proiettile comunque vola a lungo in aria. Diciamo che se mantenesse la velocità di uscita standard che ha fuori dal vivo di volata del fucile, diciamo una velocità fra gli 850 e 950 metri al secondo, noi avremmo un tempo di volo di un paio di secondi, diciamo così. Ma siccome comunque durante il volo perde velocità, riusciamo ad arrivare a 3 secondi e mezzo. A queste distanze anche 4 secondi, poi bisogna poi vedere per le varie condizioni, e c'è veramente la necessità anche per lo spotter di sapere questi tempi per riuscire a capire quando lui si deve aspettare l'impatto, anche nel momento in cui magari non riesce a vedere la traccia del proiettile. Insomma, sono tutte cose molto, molto importanti da tenere in considerazione quando si fanno questi tiri e che normalmente non vengono raccontate le film quando vediamo queste cosine un po' in giro. Ora abbiamo Maurizio Battaglino e Fabrizio Giuggia che si preparano al tiro, i primi due italiani. Hanno fatto molto bene durante queste 3 giornate.
Can I speak in French?
Yeah, sure.
En fait, la difficulté sur ce genre de longue distance, en fait, c'est pour le spotter, c'est de garder les yeux fermés lors du tir et de compter le temps de vol de la balle et d'ouvrir les yeux 1 seconde avant l'impact pour vraiment avoir le 100% de la concentration sur l'impact. Si le spotter garde les yeux un peu trop ouverts trop longtemps, il perd en fait cette concentration et ça devient difficile. Par contre, en revanche, si quand il ouvre les yeux et qu'il voit pas l'impact, ce qui est important, c'est justement à ce moment-là de garder sur le deuxième tir les yeux ouverts tout le long pour essayer d'avoir le vortex pour voir où part la balle. Voilà, c'est le petit détail, un petit peu ce qu'ils expliquaient tout à l'heure avec Paul et puis les 2 autres collègues.
Abbiamo Maurizio che ha tirato il primo colpo sulla piastra del 1860, ora in questo momento il secondo. Come potete vedere, sicuramente la prospettiva della nostra telecamera può ingannare qualcosina, però non si vede assolutamente nulla. Nessuno sbuffo, nessun schizzo di terra, di roccia, nulla. Quindi quest'oggi sicuramente il lavoro dello spotter non è per niente semplificato, anzi. Ricordiamo che comunque l'esperienza anche su questo campo Maurizio e Fabrizio ce l'hanno, perché Fabrizio è il vincitore della seconda edizione dell'Extreme Shot Italia nel 2022 se non erro, e loro si invertono il ruolo di tiratore spotter, quindi si formano un team indissolubile che a vicenda si scambiano i ruoli, entrambi con arma in 300 PRC, in modo da cercare di avere sempre il più possibile le stesse correzioni. Parlavo ieri con loro, cercano di avere una munizione molto simile con le stesse prestazioni, stessa palla, in modo da semplificare il loro lavoro. I primi 3 colpi sulla piastra del 1860 non sono andati a segno e, come avete potuto vedere, non abbiamo visto minimamente il punto dove è impattato la palla. Ora si passa alla piastra numero 7 dei 2000 metri.
Sparare per primi la mattina, poi soprattutto la zona dove sono i bersagli è stata in ombra fino adesso, ora probabilmente un po' di sole è arrivato, essendo stata in ombra, no, non è ancora arrivato, in effetti, essendo stata in ombra, avendo passato tutta la notte, questa è una zona parecchio umida, quindi è bagnato lì, è veramente difficile riuscire a vedere lo sbuffo.
E comunque questa mattina, mentre arrivavamo qua dalla strada sotto, notavo che noi così parliamo 1860, 2000 metri, ieri parlavamo del 1000, 1500 e via discorrendo, ma questa mattina arrivando mi sono reso conto di quanta differenza c'è dalla linea di tiro di ieri, dei giorni passati, a quella di oggi, e già solo quella è una distanza impegnativa, figuriamoci aggiungerla a una distanza che a sua volta era già molto impegnativa, è impressionante. Finché non lo si prova o non lo si vede, difficilmente ci si rende conto, perché appunto ricordiamo ai nostri telespettatori che la linea di tiro è stata arretrata rispetto a ieri, siamo in un'altra zona, mentre le piastre sono rimaste le stesse. Anche il secondo colpo non è andato a segno e non abbiamo visto nulla, quindi lo spotter ha ha un arduo compito oggi.
So we were saying in Italy that today is really, really, really hard to see where you have to impact. First of all, the area of the target is in a shady area, so
Non ho visto nulla.
the ground is really is still
Fino alle
really wet,
12.
and it's really quite difficult that the bullet at the impact, at the splash, made any movement, anything. So it's really, really difficult. And Nicola was saying another notable thing is that from the place where we were until yesterday to the place where we moved today, I mean, the target is always in the same place, but just moving and changing position at this distance, it's naked eye notable that the distance is really, really long. I mean, we very often talk about these distances like, yeah, nuts, 1,000, 2,500, 600, whatever. But then when you are on the terrain and you are behind your rifle, it becomes really, really far away. And this is the second team that is going away with a string of no impact, nothing seen, as we see.
Interrompo un secondo Danilo per far notare che non è solo la nostra impressione quella di non vedere lo sbuffo. Sentivo adesso Fabrizio in un momento di silenzio che diceva sul terzo o quarto colpo, non ricordo, che proprio non era riuscito a vedere nulla, quindi condizione veramente impegnativa e
And it's
difficile.
possible that having the light straight in front of you, also the trace of the rounds, it's very difficult to be seen. Normally, if you have on the side, it's a little bit better because trace is going to be illuminated on the side, and then you have this reflection, light reflection. But when you have in front of you, it's really hard. Maybe you can see the peak, and the moment it's going down, and it's going to disappear.
Yeah. The anytime you have a cloud or shadows or any type of light change can also affect your ballistics, your elevation. So it can affect it up to 1-2 minutes of angle, and that's enough to put you into a weed or dark spot off the target. So unless you see some type of splash or indicator, a signature, you're really kind of fishing. So there's some tricks. You can purposely move to an area where it's more open and shoot to see if you see anything. It's just kind of, or move around somewhere, just move in a different location. Because if you keep shooting in the same spot and you keep missing it, you won't see anything. So you might have maybe come a minute or two up or down to see if you see anything.
We were yesterday talking, and this is the strategy when you are a soldier and you don't see anything. You want to go down low on the ground to be able to understand where the bullet is going. And some of them that, of course, is not coming from a military environment and has always been in the sports, they think this as a real hazardous, because they see like, I'm wasting a round and maybe I could be able to hit the target with that round. And it's very difficult to explain. Yes, it is better that you on purpose lose one round and then you have a clear idea what you're doing, where you are, rather than keep going hoping that the next round will be on the target.
Sure. Typically, when you miss your first shot, oftentimes you hit just over the top and the splash is behind the target. So typically we say if you miss the first time, maybe go down a little. That's typically what we do. Because it happens a lot where you're just over the top and then the splash is behind the target and you can't see it. Typically. But
Vediamo ora Rosario Iacono accingersi a impegnare la linea di tiro per la sua serie di colpi. Rosario è tiratore siciliano e il suo spotter Alfio Musumeci pure, una coppia che anche loro fin dalla prima edizione partecipano con degli ottimi risultati, degli ottimi piazzamenti negli anni.
J'ai juste un petit truc. Est-ce que vous vous rappelez, est-ce que vous vous souvenez de Benjamin Gineste pour Paul Phillips? Do you remember Benjamin?
I think he's
Oh,
talking
what's
with
about?
you.
What's
No,
that?
don't worry. I know, just for say, Benjamin Gineste, do you remember him, or he went in Raton the last year? No, it's because today.
I believe you remember him, the actual shooter Rosario from last year.
From where at?
From last year, were you here
Okay.
last year?
No, I wasn't here last
No,
year.
he wasn't here.
Ah, ok. Just for say because je voulais juste faire un petit coucou parce que c'est son anniversaire aujourd'hui. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, it's Rosario birthday.
I don't know.
It's the birthday of Benjamin, not mine.
Ah. So first round, nothing's in.
Nulla.
It's really frustrating when you hear the spotter that tells you nothing's in, and then you just start struggling and it says fuck. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say this. Bee. The after all bee. Anche lui con il primo colpo non ha creato l'impatto.
Ecco,
abbiamo visto lo
uno
sbuffo,
sbuffo dietro.
ma anche il
vicino al
primo
1900.
tiratore aveva gli sbuffi apparentemente per quello che vediamo noi sulla destra del bersaglio. Ora bisogna poi vedere
No.
il parallasse che mi dà la telecamera dove sia lo sbuffo.
Siamo completamente sfasati. L'altro giorno sentivamo gli spotter dare le correzioni a destra e noi vedevamo il colpo
Sì,
totalmente a destra, quindi non possiamo
Che sì.
sicuramente fare una presunzione sul punto di impatto noi dalla telecamera, però sicuramente già aver visto qualcosa in questo caso, se lo spotter lo ha visto, perché era leggera la fumata, noi lo vediamo con la telecamera, ma vederlo con uno spotter a 1800 metri è difficile. Anche in questo caso, per esempio,
Niente.
nulla.
Niente.
Nulla.
Quando
sei il tiratore e il tuo spotter ti dice nulla, niente, non vedo niente, è veramente
Riportalo prima.
Ah, sì.
Si vede?
Ora
lo è
in allenamento, figurati poi quando
Togli
sei
quello
in
che hai
gara.
dato, eh?
ci
Riportalo
accingo a tirare i 5 colpi sulla piastra dei 2000 metri.
Non si vede?
Vediamo se
Allora, 4 minuti.
saranno loro a inaugurare con il primo impact. Speriamo.
Speriamo.
Insomma,
Vogliamo vedere qualche impact oggi.
sì.
Anche perché poi alla fine quando spariamo con quelle altre armi di prova, insomma, magari abbiamo già qualche parametro.
Guarda, francamente quest'anno, viste le condizioni attuali, avrei pensato di vedere moltissimi impact. Ieri si parlava appunto con Rosario e anche con te che oggi sarebbe stato sicuramente più facile capire l'impact sulla piastra, in quanto i tiratori sono un numero minore, i colpi sono minori e sulla piastra nuova, pulita così, sarebbe stato più semplice vederli. Però bisogna arrivarci e non è per niente semplice oggi, per
Centropiastra,
niente.
dimmi quando sei pronto.
Anche loro partono con un center mass centropiastra giusto per tentare la sorte, sperare di capire, di impattare sicuramente al primo colpo, ma almeno di cercare di vedere l'impatto al di fuori sulla terra. Vediamo il primo.
Allora,
Sembrerebbe dietro la
2000
telecamera.
up.
Sembrerebbe dietro la telecamera, abbiamo visto dei
2000
piccoli
up.
sbuffi di roccia. Infatti
2000
la correzione dello spotter a Rosario è 2000
anzi,
up.
fai una cosa, fai 1,5. Fai
1,5.
ok?
So
E dai,
1.5
mezzo
mil up
mil
is the
destra,
correction
vai.
that the spotter is giving now. He's not really sure about it.
Centropiastra, poco quanto
The
pronto.
correction was saying 2 mils and now 1.5. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Allora, sei sempre basso.
Nulla. Ancora basso
Dai, un
sembra.
mil up.
E comunque già se ha visto
think the-
effettivamente.
I think the
Mezzo
bullet
mil
actually,
destra.
when we split their screen, I
Sì.
think it had already hit.
Yeah, probably.
Vai.
Ce qu'expliquait tout à l'heure Paul, c'est que
Non,
quand
non,
vous tirez sur ces
praticamente
distances-là,
sei
vous
andato.
avez une flèche
Almeno.
relativement haute,
Sei,
ce qui
almeno
fait que
6.000
si
alto.
le spotter voit l'impact, c'est qu'il est passé trop haut au-dessus de la cible. Donc il faut impérativement descendre
Allora, dai,
l'impact,
3.000.
enfin descendre pardon, faire une
Dai,
correction
4.000
de
scendere
down.
e
Può aller en
1.000 e
cima.
mezzo a sinistra.
Nel frattempo la regia ci passa in sovraimpressione tutti i nostri sponsor.
Hai 2 minuti ancora.
avrei veramente pensato questa mattina appena arrivato sul campo, viste le condizioni, di vedere un sacco di impact questa mattina, perché mi ricordo 2 anni fa, ai 2000, il primo anno che sono stati effettuati i 2000, alla mattina c'era un'area, si parlava di 8-10 metri al secondo, una cosa veramente impressionante, eppure i tiratori andavano in piastra. Abbiamo visto tantissimi impact. Questa mattina pensavo di vederne tanti, invece poco.
No, completamente, non l'ho visto.
Paul dice di aver visto qualcosa a sinistra vicino
Vai
al
centropiazza
numero
di
del
nuovo.
cartello.
È finito.
Did he see it?
I think no.
It's very difficult to see the little tiny movements.
Nulla.
No, sei passato
Peccato.
sotto.
È difficile
Vabbè.
perché veramente non oso immaginare la frustrazione del tiratore essere arrivato fin qua e non riuscire a prendere quella piastra che è la King, la numero uno, la piastra regina.
So that's three
Quell'impact,
now. I've had 3 shooters and no impact.
No
Yeah.
impact.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
3 shooters, no impact. It's really, really, really. Wow.
That sun is definitely playing a role. The shadows and the sun can be very detrimental.
But they have also
I
been.
got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How is eolian? I don't know the word in English. Eolian.
Eodien. Actually,
Normally it's in front of you. It's for the wind, make electricity.
say again, if in front of us.
Eolian. It's
Google
no, I'm sorry, I
Translator.
didn't have the word in English.
Oh,
Use Google Translator.
yeah, we got about, let's see,
It's a wind turbine.
wind turbine.
Wind turbine.
I don't think there's that much wind
How
right
is
now.
it?
No, I believe I was saying that I have like the feeling that all the other days, they have been shooting with wind. So, and today there is almost. I mean, I have the feeling that there is very little wind. So, this could be probably one of the reasons, but really, it's very
that's 7
difficult to
minutes.
say.
3 minutes pour préparer.
Ah.
3.
This is Rod.
Yeah. Spotter Roman.
1 minute.
Nice.
40 secondes. Ok.
Andiamo ora a prepararsi al tiro a Roman con Rod all'organizzazione di questo fantastico evento come spotter.
T'as encore 1 minute.
Una nuova coppia, noi avevamo mai visto insieme questa finale dei 2000 metri.
On a un vrai petit vent de droite.
Vediamo anche un'insolita configurazione spotting scope. Vedo che sta utilizzando 2 spotting scope, uno su un occhio e uno sull'altro. Presumo che quello di sinistra, in cui sta guardando adesso Rod, sia un perspective normale, che magari va a vedere qualche condizione di vento su qualche pianta o erba, mentre quello di destra sicuramente ha reticolo all'interno, perché si vede l'oculare con il reticolo.
So Roman is the leader right now.
Target 6.
Yeah.
So he'll be setting the stage here for points.
Target 6. Attends. Le vent se rend.
Everybody's chasing Roman.
Prêt. Vert.
Nulla.
Nothing seen.
Let's see.
Pas vous.
We'll see if.
Pas vous.
Did he see it? I can't understand what it's. No.
Je pense que tu es. Ah non. Parce qu'en bas, on n'a vu rien.
What's he saying?
I would come
It's
down.
French. I don't
3
know.
clicks.
Can we have a translation in English for this French the direction.
Oh, sorry.
Ok, je suis prêt.
Did
He
he?
didn't see it.
He didn't
as
see
far,
it.
No. Okay, I will do the translator.
Prêt.
I will do the translator.
Ok, je l'avoue.
Oh.
À droite,
Okay,
Chino.
it's it.
à droite,
We can see that
click.
one.
4 clics à droite.
4 click. Click right.
1 click up.
One
And
click.
1 click up.
D'accord. 1 click, 1 shot.
Sorry, guys.
Ok. Ouais. Vert.
One click. There is a rule. Now let's see if he impact. If he impact, I'm not gonna say the rule. Otherwise, I'm gonna say the rule.
Vert. Ah putain.
Oh.
Okay. The rule is one click
Windage
is
is
no
good.
click.
T'as combien de windage? T'as 0 from windage? Okay. Up, you have to come up 4 clicks.
Yeah, let's get how many wind
Ah ouais.
range
Okay.
you've got.
2,
Just
0,
I've
2.
got on
Up.
0.
20.2 mils.
So now for the second plate,
Je
you
crois
switch
on va
to
ajouter
English.
notre 2
Ah no,
clics.
back to French.
Donc,
Come on, it's
No.
This is
Elevation,
one of the fun effects of this
elevation.
environment. There are so many languages, and
No,
you
windage,
really
laisse
heard
comme ça.
people talking in multiple
Windage, c'est bon.
languages together.
mais c'est comme était en banc avant.
E in questo Rod è impressionante perché
Ah, Rod,
italiano, inglese, francese, tedesco, parla
Ok,
tutto
on va
questo.
sur la petite truc.
tedesco.
Non
This is
tanto.
Attends, je suis pas
a
prêt.
Swiss knife.
Combien de temps il nous reste?
Yeah,
Encore
with the
4
Swiss.
minutes.
Yeah, Maltese, of course.
C'est bon. On commence avec la petite truc, ok?
Vediamo se ce la facciamo ad avere un impatto.
Beh, sicuramente il fatto di essere arrivati molto vicino alla piastra dei 1860 metri li aiuterà tantissimo
Eh beh,
a cercare di, con i 5 colpi a disposizione, di mettere a segno almeno un impact.
Ok.
Certo è che mettere a segno il primo sarebbe
Je suis prête.
Yupidu.
T'es prête?
un buon presupposto per
c'est bon?
mettere in cassaforte
Windage niveau?
la posizione di qualifica di ieri.
Ok, je suis là.
Ricordiamo, il primo colpo
Yeah.
ha una valenza di
Ouais,
punti
je suis
nettamente
là.
superiore al secondo, terzo,
Vert.
quarto e quinto. Di conseguenza sarebbe veramente
Vert.
The spotter is
un'ipoteca.
ready.
Ok, seen it.
L'ha visto.
Ok, alors, attends.
Abbiamo visto qualche sbuffo sotto
Calm
la telecamera
down,
sulla parte
4
destra.
click.
No.
0,4, ok, yes. 0,4, down.
Se notiamo con il tempo che passa il terreno si sta
One
asciugando
click right.
e quindi inizia a
Attends,
muoversi.
je fais confirmer.
Però come abbiamo
Buona
visto
ancora
adesso
10
mi è sembrato di vedere qualche sbuffo sulla
Ok,
parte bassa, invece
on
ha
va
dato
sulla
4
cible.
click down. Almeno penso di aver intrapreso 4 click down.
Prêt.
Quasi mezzo mil non è poco, eh?
Ok, tu es en bas. Monte 4 clics. Monte 4 clics.
Torna su.
For the first shows before, he was under the
Okay.
target and he
Windage,
make a
c'est
click
bon?
down. So right now he
Un peu à
just
droite.
understand he
Tu vas
was
un peu à
too
droite,
low.
mais c'est bon.
So he make up now.
Vert.
Ok,
2 minutes. Va.
Impact! No?
Impact, ok,
Yeah.
la même.
Yeah.
Ah, la forma sulla piastra non è molto da impatto, eh. Secondo me sarà da rivedere.
That's not a solid hit. Looked like a striation.
Alors, attends.
Sarà da rivedere questa.
Tu viens un peu. Attends.
Ha una forma troppo strana
Sì.
per essere un impatto.
o la
c'est
palla
à
è
droite.
arrivata piatta,
C'est
cosa
sur
che è
le bord à
veramente
droite.
stranissima,
Sì,
perché vuol
donc
dire che
il
la palla
faut
sta
être
iniziando a
un peu à
rotolare
gauche.
nell'aria, sarebbe troppo strano
Un
per
clic
essere
à gauche,
Sarebbe una
ok.
rosata di qualche decina di metri, arrivare a bersaglio
Ok,
sarebbe
c'est bon.
una
Ouais, c'est prêt.
casualità. Però sarà da rivedere.
I think that looks like a skip.
A fragmentation. Maybe he hit a rock in the
Yeah.
wrong
No,
point
pas
of the
vous.
target.
Because a bullet, when it hits a target, it makes a round
On tient les
circle.
Yeah,
mêmes, on tient les
of course.
mêmes.
It doesn't make a striation.
On va un peu plus à
I just
gauche.
say
Un peu plus
may-
à gauche.
It could only
Un
be
clic à
that the
gauche.
bullet was already twisting instead of going straight. But
Ouais.
I
No,
mean,
it's not going to be
it's
that
really
accurate.
Impossible.
Yeah. No,
vicino, ma niente. Quello sarà da rivedere secondo me. Dopo
Era a destra l'impatto, vero? Sul
giuria.
bordo destro.
yeah, they'll have to look at that. That's
Allora, dalla giuria gli hanno detto, o qualcuno gli ha detto, è arrivata di traverso. So that from the jury area, somebody says it arrived on a like in this way.
Difficile.
But
no,
from this distance, if the
Like-
bullet really arrived in this way,
yeah.
it was only luck.
Yeah.
You have no chance.
Yeah,
to
I've
hit
never
target.
seen. It's
Any
very
other
rare. It's usually it hits the ground and then skips when it has a striation like that.
Yeah.
When bullets hit, they'll hit circular. If it's flying that sideways, it would never make it to the target probably.
Yeah.
It's one chance to 1
It would-
million.
Yeah. But we'll let
we
the
see the French. We see in our screen finally the French voice. Ciao.
we'll let the match officials figure that one out.
Veramente un caso su milione che la palla arrivi di traverso. Se la palla arriva di traverso vuol dire che la rosata media potrebbe essere di qualche decina di metri, quindi arrivare a bersaglio sarebbe praticamente quasi impossibile. Abbiamo visto 2 sicuramente sbuffi vicino al bersaglio, quindi è molto più probabile che sia uno schizzo di roccia dovuto all'impatto della palla che è andata sul bersaglio. Però
Vedremo
cosa diranno i giudici, e se l'andazzo è questo, sicuramente anche potrebbe aiutare anche andare a verificare proprio fisicamente sulla piastra, perché la telecamera è sempre una prospettiva un po' diversa.
Yeah, typically what you do for match officials on something like that is you review the video, and if you see some dust movement before the impact, if you can slow the footage down, if they have the capabilities, you'll see the dust, then the impact on plate.
Ok.
But it's a tough one to call because the mark is not as suspicious.
Come diceva Paul, normalmente loro nelle gare ufficiali utilizzano questo metodo, rivedono il filmato della telecamera e se vedono uno sbuffo prima dell'impatto della presunta palla sul bersaglio non lo tengono valido, in quanto è un qualcosa di rimbalzo che va a impattare sul bersaglio, perché dice che, giustamente, penso effettivamente anch'io che sia così, e l'abbiamo visto nei giorni precedenti, quando la palla impatta sul bersaglio fa un segno circolare,
Un
nettamente.
timbro tondo,
Sì,
perfetto.
non,
Pam.
non c'è dubbio, questo si dovrà andare a rivedere, senza ombra di dubbio.
And just so everybody knows, in the rules, it cannot be a skip. It's got to hit the plate first in the air. It can't be a skip. So just if anybody is listening, that's the rules for extreme long range. Is it's got to be an impact with the bullet hitting the plate first. It cannot be a ricochet. But we'll let the match director and the officials figure what that. It's on their
So
shoulders.
now I really understood what you were saying. I mean the bullet need to first impact the plates.
Yeah.
It cannot impact on the ground and then
Correct.
by ricochet getting on
Correct.
on the plate. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
And it looks like the sun is still playing a role in the shooters. They're trying to figure out how to see the target clearly and adjust their parallax and their scope so that they can see clearly. It's very difficult.
Now we are seeing the American team.
Yeah, this is Brian Cantonio and with Safety First Tactical, and Danny Gilbert spotting for him. Very accomplished shooter and spotter from the United States. Looks like they're using a Ryan Cheney bag. Ryan will be happy about that. And an Accutech bipod with my P skis. Those P skis are the little feet that I helped develop for Accutech. We designed them to get a little bit better elevation on recoil management. It gives you a little bit better recoil management and a little bit more consistent. So your elevations are usually smaller for the farther you shoot. P skis. And they're for more prone shooting on mats, more for ELR and F class. And then, PRS obviously would be a little different application, but for what we're doing here, they work really well.
What do you think about this position of the spotter? I mean, I saw them, and the spotter is always on the side instead of being.
Yeah, I spot on the side also, and the reason for that is, I want to be able to look down and make sure that he can hear me. Communication is effective, and I also want to be able to watch when he moves his knobs. So we're going to make sure that he understands what I say. And we want to make sure that he can hear what I'm saying. So when you're far back behind, you may not hear or see the knob. So you are actually acting as a second backup plan to make sure you can communicate effectively and you can make sure the knobs are being moved in the right direction. Because oftentimes those two things are big problems: communication and knob movement.
Ho visto il primo colpo che era abbastanza vicino alla piastra, almeno abbiamo visto lo sbuffo, però poi il secondo invece di nuovo nulla.
Yes. Yes. Don't want to chase it to the bottom. I like it.
Looks like he just missed just underneath.
Vicino, ma
non
abbastanza.
Did he say he didn't see it?
I don't know.
So if he didn't see it, it probably, like I said before, it probably went right over top of the plate.
Yeah.
And it was behind the plate.
Oh, okay.
So remember what I said before. Typically, because that makes sense, right? That's the only object that's blocking your bullet is the plate, so it must be behind it. Therefore, you probably went over the top, just barely. But again, we're on video, we're watching with videos and screens. It's much harder when you're behind that spotting scope.
Of course.
With sun in your eyes.
Giustamente Paul diceva che è completamente diverso vedere l'impatto o il bersaglio con la telecamera rispetto che con lo spotting scope e specialmente col sole negli occhi. Anche il fatto di in determinati casi lo spotter non riesce a vedere l'impatto, noi con le telecamere lo vediamo anche proprio per un fatto di prospettiva che magari l'impatto è dietro la piastra e viene coperto dalla piastra, quindi è praticamente impossibile riuscire a vederlo. Ora Brian si accinge a tirare i 5 colpi alla piastra regina, piastra dei 2000.
I'm taking your bite.
Firing on at the moment.
Shooter.
Spotter.
Oh, abbiamo visto qualcosa sulla...
I think you're right over it.
3.8 seconds to
Okay.
Sentiamo cosa le correzioni, ma sembra aver visto il punto di impatto.
Our camera angle might be a little different too than what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Depending on where the camera is, what you're seeing at home or on your phone may not be the correct angle of what is actually happening.
Okay, your left. Come right. 0.6.
right 0.6.
Yeah, and I want to say to come down 0.2.
Down 0.2.
Oh, just under it. Come back up 0.2 and right 0.1.
Noi per esempio in questo caso
Yeah, see,
sembrava
that actually looked right, but he called them come right. So
Right
what we're
0.1.
seeing is not the right
Yes.
angle. Yeah.
yeah.
One of us is a parallax error, or maybe both of us.
Hold the inside top
So-
right corner.
Yep, that
Non
sounds
l'abbiamo
good.
visto.
Yeah, he saw that shot. Brian saw that shot. And the spotter confirmed. They're going to hold on the top right corner
Here's the
here.
stuff right there.
Nulla.
And I think that's right
È
where I hit.
incredibile, eh?
A che tiratore siamo arrivati? È il quarto o quinto?
Non lo so sinceramente.
Noi impatti, abbiamo solo quel apparente impatto.
Lo verifichiamo subito.
Well, I'm going to go get prepared.
Yeah?
Ok, see you later.
Yep.
Thank you.
See you later and
Good luck.
Thanks.
shoot
Yeah,
them
good
all.
luck.
È veramente una giornata particolare. L'eccitazione iniziale che c'era addosso a tutti sta diventando preoccupazione generale. Io vedo le persone attorno che iniziano a essere un po' preoccupate. Ecco, mi abbandona tutti, rimango solo sulla regia. No, scherzo, eh.
Sono andato a procurarmi l'ordine dei tiratori così sappiamo
Ecco,
a quanti siamo e chi siamo.
5. Ora il sesto, ok. 5 team sono passati, noi vecchietti non abbiamo la memoria di ricordarcelo. E il sesto si appresta ora ad andare in posizione.
Grazie. Ora ce li abbiamo. Ecco che ci ha raggiunto anche Saro.
Eccomi, buongiorno a
Saro,
tutti.
Intanto che sei qua e il tiratore si prepara, dacci subito a caldo la tua
Le mie impressioni?
impressione di quello
O
che
frustrazione, come vogliamo chiamarla.
Forse sì, perché impressioni, frustrazioni. Allora, qua siamo a vento zero, lo vedete anche voi.
Sì.
E io
Anche
difatti
se qualcosina
si sta iniziando a muovere, sembra di sì. Io stamattina difatti quando ho visto così avevo un po' paura perché ho detto magari qualche corrente ascensionale giù in fondo e si crea. Ed effettivamente penso che sia così perché noi, io ho tirato il terzo, i primi due non si è visto nessuno sbruff degli impact. Io col mio spotter siamo riusciti a vedere e vedevi che al terzo colpo siamo riusciti a individuare il colpo, un 1000 sotto, abbiamo corretto e sono andato subito ai 2000 alto. Correggiamo, un 1500 basso. Rimaneva perfettamente centrale, perciò ci sono delle correnti che te la spingono
di mezzo,
alto
ok.
e basso, alto e basso. E questo è quello che sta succedendo un po' a tutti e non si capisce effettivamente.
qui abbiamo il team svedese, ma il tiratore in realtà è un norvegese, due persone molto squisite, molto calme, molto tranquille.
Giornata difficile comunque, abbiamo
Beh.
visto che sta procedendo difficile per tutti, perciò va bene così.
So and the comment about what happened in his shot, basically they were able to see some impacts and riuscivi a vedere anche la traccia? Il tuo spot riusciva a vederla la traccia?
Sì, 2 volte sole è riuscito a vederlo.
Okay. Barely the trace, so only 2 times they have been able to see the trace. But anyway, the feeling was that between rounds and rounds, the elevation was changing due to probably some wind, weird wind, or whatever nearby the target. It could be that is the moment where the rounds goes from supersonic to subsonic, to maybe there is something in between and make this difference.
Sì, perché siamo comunque, diciamo che siamo al limite del supersonico e nel passaggio al transonico. Perché
Le tue munizioni a quanto diventano?
le mie munizioni, secondo il calcolatore balistico, dovremmo essere intorno ai 360 metri al secondo, giù ai 2000. Perciò siamo al limite.
Ah,
Siamo al limite. Ma il 338 arriva a quelle
vediamo dopo col
velocità.
50.
Il 50, vedremo. Vabbè, possibilmente possono fare anche la differenza il 33 XC stamattina.
Mm.
Andiamo.
Ecco il primo colpo.
Ecco.
Sbuffo.
Sicuramente l'impatto.
Sì.
E comunque mentre andiamo avanti il terreno si sta asciugando e inizia
Sì.
a sbuffare di più.
Sì, sì.
Sì, ci è bloccato il bossolo.
Aia.
Ecco. Sì, secondo me più avanti andiamo meglio si tirerà, magari qualche impact ci sarà perché cambieranno un po' le condizioni e sarà diverso,
Sì,
sarà
commentavamo prima,
gestibile.
Il terreno della mattina è un terreno molto bagnato, quindi anche lì è difficile dal momento in cui il colpo colpisce il terreno riuscire a vedere lo sviluppo.
Vedi. Dalla nostra telecamera vediamo che è impattato di nuovo a destra, sembrava altino.
Sì, prima abbiamo visto con altri tiratori
Lui
che
mi sa che ha l'estrattore rotto.
le correzioni erano completamente diverse dalla nostra prospettiva.
Eh sì, la prospettiva della telecamera sarà
è
diversa.
molto difficile.
So as you seen, he was moving twice, or the first time straight in front of the barrel, and the second time he has something they use to extract the round. Most probably he has the extractor broken.
Molto probabile. Sì.
Yeah. Which is an add-on on the stress of shooting.
Sì.
They are talking through the ear protection.
Penso di
They
sì.
they have a mic on the ear protection.
Però
so-
se la regia ci abilita il microfono sulla linea, magari riusciamo a sentire anche cosa si dicono.
Yeah, but they don't.
Ecco, adesso ce l'hanno aperto.
Okej, sen tar vi stenen ut till vänster.
Anche questo sicuramente è
Du
un
menar
plus
den som är
per
rakt upp till vänster där?
essere sicuri che abbia capito effettivamente cosa
Så
la
kommer
correzione da parte dello spotter o anche le impressioni, perché
Höger om, kom 05 vänster.
Noi non abbiamo visto niente.
no. Ma
04 vänster ska jag säga.
è una costante di questa mattina.
Sì, sì.
Veramente abbiamo visto pochissimi sbuffi, pochissime cose.
Nej, alltså Peder, du måste skruva 04 right då.
Vad ska jag skjuta på korrektion?
Nej, du har rätt. Tummen upp, 4 klick. Det var det du gjorde va?
Ja,
Ja, bra.
okej.
Precis över.
Ja, jag
Skjut likadant. Du var helt rätt i vind.
Gliel'hanno dato come buono?
Ja,
o
men du var precis över. Du är helt korrekt i vind.
Ok.
Vad säger klockan?
Gott om tid.
Giudici
2
sono
minuter
giudici.
kvar.
Non si discutono.
Okej, samma vind.
Ja,
È giusto.
bra skott nu.
Vediamo ora il terzo colpo.
Ingen som helst observation.
Niente.
Nulla.
Kom ner 1 klick ifall du var högt där.
Jag ska bara få ut min...
Presumiamo che lo spotter abbia visto.
Så här.
2 minuter kvar nu.
Anche perché
Peder.
7 minuti per sparare
Gott om tid.
8 colpi e la
Två
carabina
skott på
che non
2
estrae
È
Sì.
un,
sia a
è un bello
livello di stress ma anche a livello di tempistiche, è dura.
Sono pochi 7 minuti.
Sì.
Però ce la fai lì al limite.
Sì,
Non devi sbagliare di
perdere
nulla.
tempo,
Sì,
non devi
sì.
perdere tempo.
På innan här.
Ja, ta det lugnt bara.
Vad säger vinden då?
Penso che sicuramente questo tiratore dalla prossima esperienza si porterà un'unghia estrattrice di
Det
riserva.
ser likadant ut i terrängen som förra.
Rod, vuoi venire?
Och precis över. Har du ett skov?
Sembrerebbe
Sembra.
aver
Helt
visto lo
rätt i vind.
spotter.
Helt rätt i vind.
Hur mycket ska jag gå ner då?
Ja, 2 skulle jag säga.
Ja, 2 klick ner. Sista skottet.
Ja, ta dig tid.
Andiamo all'ultimo colpo. Nulla.
Nej,
No,
ingen
nulla.
observation.
Sbuffo.
Niente.
Helt omöjligt att se.
Condizioni veramente difficili oggi.
Bra jobbat ändå Peder.
Nej, det var inte bra.
Volte,
Det var fan inte bra.
a volte si crede che quando c'è vento siano più difficili le condizioni, ma presumo che
No,
anche a zero vento.
questo è un'altra delle cose. Ho detto, oggi è cambiato l'abitudine che avevate negli altri giorni.
Sì,
oggi
sì,
vi
sì.
siete trovati con una condizione non solo in una linea differente, in una posizione differente, un'angolazione differente rispetto al bersaglio e con una condizione di vento differente. Oggi veramente, come per dire, è un altro
È un
giorno.
altro giorno, si riparte da zero per tutto.
Lo dicevo prima mentre commentavamo, penso anche vicino alla tua stringa e ti ricordi 2 anni fa con quel vento che era una cosa impressionante.
Sì, mi ricordo benissimo.
Che dovevamo tenere i gazebi perché sennò volavano via anche se erano ancorati. E lì pensavamo di non vedere impatti, cioè pensavamo, alla mattina abbiamo detto chi oggi prende la piastra una volta ha vinto, eppure invece abbiamo visto tantissimi impatti.
Sì, sì, ci sono stati diversi impact, mi sembra che abbiamo raggiunto forse il 12-13%
Sì.
di impatti, perciò già comunque
Questa mattina
inizia a
avremmo detto, e io stesso ho pensato tra me e me, vedremo un sacco di
Un sacco
impact
di
eppure
Ma lo
invece-
pensavo anch'io di prima mattina, appena sono arrivato, ma poi abbiamo visto invece che l'effetto contrario.
Sì, siamo arrivati a 2, 4, 6 tiratori con un impact incerto che la giuria andrà a verificare. Vuol dire veramente pari a forse una percentuale inferiore all'1%, cioè una cosa veramente
Sì, sì.
incredibile.
I've got a question for you guys. I watch because I am in France, so I watch behind my TV. It's more easier to speak than to can explain what's happening. But what do you think about it? Where I'm from, I saw all the shooter look low under the target. What you're feeling about it?
I don't know, but we spoke with Rosario, and he had one shot around 2 mil low, and they give the correction 2 mil up, and the shot, the next shot was extra 2 mil up. So probably there is some turbulence in the middle of the range or something similar, because the spotter and the shooter, they don't understand the condition and where the bullets impact on the ground. It's very difficult. Today it's very difficult. We have sunny day, the wind is close to nothing here at the firing point, but we don't know in the middle between us and the target what happened.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adesso vediamo Oliver Saliba con Tony Zammit che hanno fatto una bellissima prestazione nei giorni precedenti e mi sembra che è il primo 33 XC della giornata di oggi.
Sì,
Sta sparando.
Sì, confermo.
Vediamo se riesce a fare la differenza il calibro.
Beh, ieri sicuramente ha fatto una prestazione eccellente. Se non ero sulla piastra intermedia dovrebbe aver fatto 5 su 5 se non ricordo male, e gli ha garantito un numero di punti veramente elevato per entrare in ottima posizione in questa finale. E vediamo ora. Qualcosina di vento qui da noi si sta alzando,
Sì.
perché vediamo le bandiere che abbiamo di fronte a noi iniziare a sventolare un pochino. Niente di che, nulla di paragonabile rispetto ai giorni precedenti, però qualcosina inizia. Sicuramente aiuterà ad asciugare il terreno, sia il sole che si sta alzando
Sì, di sicuro.
e anche l'aria, e probabilmente sarà più semplice riuscire a vedere gli impatti sul terreno.
secondi.
La giuria ha dato il via
E bat.
a Oliver per partire.
E baton.
Nulla.
Non vediamo nulla.
Nulla. Forse mi è sembrato, ma non ne sono
Zambè
sicuro, di
basso,
aver visto un qualcosina in basso proprio di fianco alla grafica, però non ne sono sicuro.
E prova all. Bej ċentru u isfel.
Tra l'altro non capisco neanche cosa si stanno dicendo tiratore e spotter, che è una lingua a me non comprensibile. Adesso dietro abbiamo visto qualcosa dietro vicini ai bersagli. Saro dice bassa, però
sembrava bassa, veniva da sotto, però
17.4.
è difficile.
0.1.
sembra
Għana jidlek xtamel all. Ħajkonna
come ho
nieħdu ċans.
capito 0,7 mil
Tia-
up di avergli dato.
Tija 3 left.
Sono pochi,
Sì, sono pochi, però 0,7.
3 clicks. So post għandek 4. Ejja.
Ci ricordiamo che 0.1 mil sono 1 centimetro a 100 metri,
perciò.
moltiplicato, quindi sono praticamente 20 centimetri
E siamo
a 2000
sì.
metri.
Adesso
Quindi-
spariamo sul bersaglio del beccio, sono 18,6
Sì,
centimetri.
sì, va bene.
Sì, sì.
Era per fare i conti tondi, per non dover usare la
Scemo.
E 2000
calcolatrice.
abbiamo 20 centimetri.
Un click 20 centimetri vuol dire che quando abbiamo visto dare 0,5, 6, 8 vuol dire che eravamo fuori veramente
Io a primo colpo a 2000 e sono riuscito ad azzerare ai 1800 perché ho visto l'ultimo colpo che era un 1000 sotto, l'ho portato a 0, ho dato le correzioni per le 2000, primo colpo a 2000, 2000 sopra, sono 4 metri.
Quindi anche in molti casi anche la nostra non è solo colpa della prospettiva della telecamera,
Elevation
ma è il problema anche che potrebbe essere fuori dalla visuale della nostra telecamera.
Sì.
Quindi dalla regia parliamo. Chiaramente lo spotter ha una visuale molto più ampia. Adesso non so il tuo spotter che numero di ingrandimenti stessi usando, ma mi pare che di medie tutti quanti qui stiano viaggiando sui 30-40 ingrandimenti. Sì, anche perché con questo sole e con questo poco vento sicuramente il riverbero, il miraggio dà molto fastidio con un alto numero di ingrandimenti.
Sì, perché quando ho iniziato a sparare io ancora c'era la nebbiolina dell'umidità nell'aria, perciò il bersaglio lo vedevamo offuscato, perciò devi mettere per forza meno ingrandimenti, altrimenti non vedi nulla.
Xej ma tite.
Non abbiamo visto
Nulla.
È veramente
Zom bottom of plate all. Bottom of plate o left edge.
Angolo sinistro, questo l'ho capito.
Fa xej, madonna.
Qui ci vorrebbe
Xej, all, xej.
imprecazione.
Xej. Taġġilx.
Vediamo che usa un'ottica zero compromise, ricordiamo che è uno degli sponsor di questa competizione.
Naħsiblu naqra lej il-left all, dejjem. Bej ċentru
Vediamo i
left.
tiratori sparano su delle piastre MT Target, che è anche uno dei nostri sponsor, che fornisce queste piastre di per il tiro a lunga distanza, per qualsiasi tipo di dimensione di tiro, molto prestanti. Rod ha pubblicato sui social la differenza tra le piastre usate negli anni precedenti e quelle di quest'anno, come molto meno si deformano, però allo stesso tempo si muovono e permettono di vedere l'impatto anche se la piastra è sporca. Diamo gli ultimi 3 tiri di Tony. Oliver, scusate.
Maria Madonna.
Assolutamente
Niente.
assolutamente nulla.
Invece di Bipod, sicuramente lo spotter non vede nulla.
One click.
1 mil, no?
0.1. Oh. Which one?
I watch you guys, and I'm not with you today, but I would like to say thank you for the organization
All right.
and everybody for this beautiful competition.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, even though you are far away. Next year, probably you will be here.
Next year, for sure, I will be here.
To the right.
I was in Raton for the 2 miles this year, so it was just a little bit hard with my job to be with you today. So, but the next year, I will be there for sure.
Fadal minuta. Għandek l-aħħar
Ħartiru.
l-aħħar tix. Kemm rajt għal-bot mir-rajt?
Il-bot ħafna. Kella 5.
Jekk inti rajta hu ċans. Hija 5 left.
Diamo l'ultimo colpo. Nulla.
Finish!
Xej,
Incredibile, seriamente. Io vorrei rincuorare il mio spotter che quando abbiamo finito di sparare è venuto da me e mi ha detto mi dispiace, io ho fatto il possibile ma non ci sono riuscito, ma lo rincuoro pubblicamente,
vedendo i risultati.
effettivamente non era colpa sua indubbiamente, perché ho visto anch'io dove impattava la palla, davamo le correzioni ma nulla.
Ragazzi,
No, fermo.
stiamo per distruggere la
Sì, sì.
posizione. We are close to destroy the position.
So, who is the next shooter now?
Good morning, Jay.
We are waiting for the graphics coming out. In the meantime, we have the sponsor.
Okay.
Thanks to them, this competition can be done. So we really have to thank all of them.
On voudrait remercier tous les sponsors. Ah, désolé, j'étais en train de faire la traduction. Et on tenait, en fait, l'organisation tenait à remercier un peu tous les sponsors, parce que justement, sans les sponsors, cette compétition pourrait pas avoir lieu. Hi, Jay. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Well, how was your feeling for this competition?
It's a very challenging competition. I like it a lot. The way you guys run it is it's very impressive. Very smoothly run match. It's nice. One of the best parts about it is that we have shooting times, and the line is held to those times. So it makes it easy for guys to know when they need to be at the course, and there's just less uncertainty about where they need to be and when. It's a very smoothly run match. I have to congratulate you for that.
Ah, cool.
Also,
Is that
I'd just like to.
harder with the jet lag?
We had a few days to get rid of that, so it ended up being okay. But it was definitely worth the trip for us. My wife loves the location, Sicily. It's a beautiful place to hold a match. Climate at this time of year is hard to beat, so definitely worth the trip.
It was being Italian. It was the very first time for me to be in Sicily, living in Sicily, and it's really, I have to say, it's an amazing place, and the people here.
I'm not sure I'd want to come here midsummer, but this time of year it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, this is a good things of this, like Sicily, Sardinia in Italy. You can go very long when it's winter already everywhere. You can
Yes.
come here and still enjoying the weather, not being too hot.
Yes. And actually, this course it's beautiful. The fact that we're on an island, we see different winds from day to day or even morning, afternoon. It changes the nature of the course. So it's some people would complain about that you have variations from shooter to shooter, but it in a way it's nice because it breaks up teams. So the data that you can share, it's the variations as time progresses throughout the day. It really makes it more challenging for each shooter.
I will speak in French for Jay. I'm really sorry, Jay. I will speak in French. Je voudrais juste préciser parce que Jay, je l'ai rencontré en fait au King of Two Miles à Raton. Et c'est quelqu'un de vraiment extrêmement gentil et qui a le cœur dans la main. On a pas mal discuté. Alors, I don't know if because you didn't watch me, right?
No.
Jay, you can't see me now.
No, I can't see you.
Okay, no, don't worry. Just ask for the people. For I know you in Ratoon for the King of Two Miles.
Yes.
And you was very nice. You are a nice person, and I'm very happy to have the pleasure to know you. So, and you are a good shooter too. So.
Well, thank you very much. I think having gone to France 3 times now for their King of Two Miles, I've got quite a few friends over there, and whenever they come to the U.S., I almost feel obligated to make their trip as enjoyable as possible. So any help that I can give, I'm more than happy to do. It's like last year, I was able to put a rifle together for one of the shooters, and he ended up getting 4th place in the match. So that was a big reward for me, honestly, to be able to help someone to that degree.
Ed ecco che abbiamo visto Gary Costello che si è prestato a sparare il primo colpo alla piastra di 1860 metri. Ricordiamo che Gary, anche lui, è il secondo tiratore della giornata che spara in 33 XC.
Oh,
the signature off of these, we have the advantage of course, having a camera feed close up. The signature off those impacts or the misses is so subtle. With dim lighting or the shadows that these spotters are dealing with in the shooters, it's very easy to miss these impacts, which makes it impossible then to make corrections. And we've only got 3 shots on the target, so you don't even have much opportunity to fish around, hold edges and so forth to try to get your impact. It's very challenging right now.
Nulla, non vediamo nulla.
nothing seen.
No. And now you're left questioning your data. You're questioning the wind.
Yeah, you're questioning everything, and
Just how good is it? Luckily, you'll notice most people are shooting with chronographs these days, so at least they have a sense of whether their speed is on track with what they're expecting. Otherwise, you're left with the main wind. Wind would be your main variable you're not sure about. And it feels calm at the line, but it could always be that we're in a protected position to where we don't feel what's downrange.
yeah.
I personally rely on weather apps to tell me what the overall conditions are. Because so many times what we feel on the line isn't representative of what's going on downrange. Right now we should be having a wind pretty much from 11 o'clock. It's about a 3-mile-an-hour wind.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
You see the target 7 is starting to get into the light, but the backstop or the landing zone is dark and shadowed still.
Doesn't see it, Gary.
So the spotter says he he didn't see anything.
And I think Paul made the comment earlier that when instead of just sending shots indiscriminately and hoping for a different outcome, frequently you'll go for your first shot. You want an impact, but after that, if you get no call, you'll look for some zone near the target that you can get feedback, slow, something like that.
We were saying before.
Yeah.
It's really the best strategy. But yesterday we were talking about this subject, and
Just a second.
the people that I was talking with were quite skeptical on using this kind of strategy because they have like the mind to say no, but maybe that round is the round that is going to impact the target, and then you waste the target, and it was this back and forth, and I was like, yes, but you need to have a certainty to a certain point, or you're going to waste all the ammunition.
Exactly.
And then this is what we're seeing actually now.
Especially on a day like today where we don't have very many impacts. They're worth gold right now. So you won't need to be able to see what's happening. In fact, we did that at I can't remember, one of the French teams I was shooting with in Raton at King of 2 Miles. We had a practice day on Spring Canyon. And
Impact.
We can see that one. Very good. Just to finish my thought, the landing zones, we couldn't see the impact, so we ended up going to a dirt zone, and we were able to see things, make our corrections, and that made all the difference. And then once you have that, you understand what the wind is, then we'd go to the target and make our confirmation impact.
Yeah. So, one true impact, sure impact for the moment, because we were saying the previous impact,
it looks questionable.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a straight-on impact.
Yeah.
I know the spotter team that was doing it, or they're performing, obviously they're going to want their impact. But experience tells us that sideways is a skip.
If we keep going in this way, at the end of the match, we can go there and check if it is really or not, if it is a ricochet,
yes,
if it is something that was...
Yeah, if it's a sideways, sometimes it's simply the paint chip, where you're hitting it, and instead of getting a nice clean round paint chip, some other area, the paint will flip off. And you can't always see that from the camera feed. Like you said, you have to go up to the target. And we'll do that with our courses that we're running back in the U.S., even ones that aren't super critical matches. We'll go up to the target afterwards, and we'll count impacts, and we'll compare that with what we had on our score sheets. And sometimes you'll have either a chain strike, a strap hit, something like that, that will give the indication that it's an impact. And when you're shooting and scoring it, we try to let the shooter know that there's question, instead of just calling it as a clean impact, because when you do that, now the shooter thinks, okay, I'm on target, it's confirmed from scoring, so I'm going to do the same hold. But if you tell them up front that there's a potential that it's a frame hit or a chain, now they know not to have 100% confidence on that hold.
Yeah.
In fact, the world record targets that we do periodically, the distance, the cold bore, where we have a cold bore followed by 2 more impacts. One of the later ones we've done just this past summer, one of the shooters thought he had 3 impacts. But one of them was just off the plate. It was a chain strike.
Yeah.
So it sounded very similar to an impact, and the plate jumped like it or moved like it was an impact. But when we went and watched it, and then we actually did very closely watched or looked at the target for any even edge hits, we were able to confirm what actually happened. Especially for something like that, where we're assigning a record, we wanted to be sure of what we had.
So what caliber you shoot on the King of 2 Miles?
This year I shot 375 Shytac.
375.
I mentioned earlier that I set up that rifle last year for the French team. They shot it so well and that was my backup rifle. So I was like, crap, it's running better than my main rifle. So I put my main one back in the safe again and pulled out there. Okay, I'm just going to shoot that one this year. And it's actually a better shooting rifle than my own. So, and we did have good success with it. We ran into some bad conditions with rain during my preliminary run, but up to that point, it was running extremely well. It got to the point we couldn't see impacts or misses at all. So it was a target I shot and had no idea where it was. But since the gun was running so well, I knew it was off and edge. I didn't know which one. So I just started holding edges. And then finally we got our impact because I knew it was that close. So it was a little bit frustrating. Had we had good visibility, we would have easily made the finals this year. But there's a lot of moving around in the U.S. for King of 2 Miles as far as what caliber. It seems to change from year to year. Obviously, it used to be a 375 Shytac was the standard. And then people would move up to the bigger bores, 416s or 460. And this past year, I would say 416 Hellfire was one of the rounds that people were going to. But then it's hard to find brass for that particular cartridge. There's just limitations, and there's a lot of recoil as well compared to the 375. So some shooters are starting to move from the 416 Hellfire back to a Shytac again. So people are recognizing the Shytac, in the end, is actually a very capable round.
Ecco che vediamo l'altra coppia di maltesi prepararsi, Tony Zammit e Oliver Saliba. Ieri Tony ha fatto una prestazione bellissima, si è rifatto della prima giornata che ha avuto un po' di difficoltà ed ecco che gli danno il go.
Io lo vedo subito.
Tony.
Nulla.
2, 4, 6, 8 clicks down. 8 clicks down.
And we didn't see it from our angle, but looks like the spotter was able to find it. He's calling for 8 clicks down, so I'm assuming he's in minutes, 2 minutes down. Or even at that 0.8 down, that's about a target and a half coming down. That would be behind, really going through the Solid Solutions design banner if that was the impact point.
Yo. Quelle style. Una testa piccola enorme con la testa non ce l'ha sopra. Ivo?
Primo impact della giornata a 1860 metri.
Tony, ħaseb daqxej għal 9 o'clock.
Oh.
All right, mela komplu ħadek, zon fej zammejt inti. Ija, 7.
Elevation.
Iwa.
Come abbiamo visto lo spotter ha dato di mirare a ore 9, sicuramente Tony l'avrà fatto ed è andato sempre fuori. Perciò le condizioni ci rendiamo conto che sono sempre più difficili.
They should have a pretty good idea of what their wind conditions are at this point. So that part of the equation is figured out. Now his elevation looked like he had some variation from shot to shot. He's got to try to figure out what's going on there. Generally, as a shooter, you have an idea when you break the shot. Where are you? Where did you maybe move a little bit as the shot broke? So we watch it and we see his last shot is going off the bottom edge, but he may have already known that whenever he broke it. Maybe he did something, maybe a shoulder tension. There was something that he would already know as a shooter that we don't have, we can't anticipate as audience.
Ta' fuq 7 toqna ħamra. Ma target l-oħra da il-ħadra baxxa, ta' 7 ta' fuq. Ta' fejm il-ġabla kbira.
And frequently as shooters will have certain parts of our form that we know that if we do something wrong, maybe a soft shoulder tension or something like that, it'll cause the bullet to do something. Maybe go low, go high, something like that. Or if everything's solid and it'll go a certain position. So we know already that if we see an impact go a certain position, we have a pretty good idea what our fault was. And frequently it can be the other way around. I used to shoot 50 caliber for ELR as an example.
Yeah.
And for 50 caliber, it's really sensitive to shoulder tension. Well, there was one time shooting a King, broke the shot, and the scope just touched my glasses. When it did that, I knew that it had more recoil than it normally did because it didn't normally touch my glasses. Based on that, I knew it was going to be a low impact because it had too much recoil and it was taking energy away from the projectile. And sure enough, it drops off the bottom of the target. So we already know that going in, so the shooter knows what their form is. And
impact.
Very good.
Very good. Wow, first round impact.
Very good, nice. Wow.
It's a nice multiplier on that for points.
Top point, my first shot.
اهرا هيا مش نرم طمن هونك ما يدروش البنجة تجيش ايوه طوني اسمعني طون.
Yeah, we've had this discussion before where for a shooter, if everything is exactly the same, shot to shot, there's still going to be a certain cone
of course.
The impact, cone of dispersion from variations that we have no control over.
Very
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you can see him hitting the bottom of the plate. You don't know, is that the bottom of his cone of dispersion? Is he centered up? You don't really know.
Wow.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's a face of relief right there.
Amazing.
It's a face of relief also for the future shooter that they see it's doable.
Exactly.
It's finally doable. But the change in weather, the temperature made is
and the light on the target.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo. Ricordiamo Tony, il primo giorno ha avuto un problema, gli si era staccato il bipiede mentre sparava, aveva fatto solo 800 punti, ed è riuscito a riprendersi nelle 2 giornate facendo dei punteggi spettacolari. Bravo.
So he was just saying in the first day he got a problem on the rifle when the vibrator was broken, and he made only 800 points. And now he has been able to recover and get such a great results.
Yeah. He had a strong second day or second run.
Yeah,
that was nice to see. That's it's always
late. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that as a match director, you want to create a match where the conditions are identical for every shooter, but it's physically impossible. Because you've got the sun moving, everything's changing, wind conditions change throughout the day. Even if it's sunny for everybody, the mirage level is going to be different from one shooter to the next. So despite your best intentions and attempts, it's virtually impossible to have everyone have same conditions. We've thought about that in the U.S., of trying to come up with a way to mitigate that. Whether it's a match format or whatever it might be, so that you are being gauged against someone in the same conditions. So we've thought about even things of having a preliminary day where you get rankings 1 through 32, and then after that have head-to-head shooting. So it's elimination, so that the 2 shooters, and one of them of course being eliminated, are shooting under identical conditions.
Wow, vediamo che Tony Zammit riesce a passare al primo posto. Bellissimo, bravo.
Jay say something very interesting. I would like to just translate it in French about the dispersion. En fait, Jay expliquait tout à l'heure qu'une fois qu'il est en cible, le tireur en fait doit continuer en fait à tirer toujours de la même manière pour la simple et bonne raison, c'est qu'il y a la dispersion et que cette dispersion en fait il ne peut pas le contrôler. C'est le cône de dispersion et c'est quelque chose en fait qu'on ne peut pas contrôler et du coup c'est la petite chose en fait qu'expliquait Jay et je trouvais très intéressant de pouvoir vous la traduire.
You know, we've gone through the exercise even with scoring systems. They seem like they favor one type of shooter over another, but one of our shooters, Brian Wink, he creates or has a database of all the impacts of all the matches, and we send him that information. And at the end of the year, we'll look at it and we'll come up with rankings.
Yeah.
And we'll rank it based on points or number of impacts or all the different scoring systems, whether it's King of 2 Mile scoring, or it could be used, or this scoring where it's 5, 4, 3, 3 times distance, any different scoring system that's used, and we'll do different rankings and see, do they shift? Is it significant or not? And what we've come to find is there's a little bit of movement of the positioning, but 1 or 2 positions here and there, but it's almost identical. You can almost score a match based on hits. But bottom line is, regardless which system is used, the scoring, the numbering system doesn't really influence the results that much.
Si prepara team italiano, impostazione.
Sì, Roberto Buccolo e David Marco Re, 2 bravissimi tiratori italiani.
I'm just so impressed with the improvement that I'm seeing from last year's match to this on the average shooter in the participants. The quality of their setups and preparation for the match. It's a tremendous improvement from what we were seeing last year.
I wasn't here last year. This is my very first year here, but I have to say that I've seen quite very nice.
I don't remember seeing anybody that I would say that they look like they don't belong or don't have the experience. Everybody has a system that can be successful here. Everybody is very well prepared for this match.
Secondi. Via. Aspetta, Robin, non ci sono. Ludo sposta tutto. Allora. Ok. Tu ci sei? Sì. Ok. Spot ready.
Is it ready?
Send it. Ok. L'hai vista?
Sì.
Allora, sei almeno 0.7 fuori. Sopra, ok?
Sì.
Quindi dai, aspetta un attimo.
You'll notice the dust on the last target on that miss went right to left.
Dai
We've been seeing left to right all
down.
morning, so it looks like we do have a little bit of a wind shift for this shooter.
0.3 right.
The elevation look good.
Yeah, our perspective from the camera could be really
Senti.
change a lot from the real.
L'hai vista? No. Spigolo alto destro della piastra.
Noi abbiamo un'altra prospettiva
ancora
completamente
sopra
diversa.
E dovresti ritornare in piastra 0.2 left.
Sì.
Ok? E abbassati. Io mi abbasserei di 0.3 ancora, Roby.
Già dati.
Ok?
2 centimetri, 4.
Abbiamo sentito le correzioni che ha consigliato lo spotter.
Senti.
Niente.
Ok.
Sometimes there is really this feeling. I have the feeling.
Sono le correzioni.
Every time
Allora,
that I watch
quando stai sopra adesso?
that the spotter is scared in giving.
Ok, noi avevamo 20.9
It's like
e
they
1.2 left
hesitate every
avevamo,
time they say just just give me these 2 or 3 clicks. And this was another discussion talking together yesterday, and I was saying you always have to have in mind the dimension of your target.
Absolutely.
And then when you are out and you give minimum the dimension of your target in direction.
Avevamo 20
In the worst case scenario, you're going to be on the edge. Of the
1.2
target.
left.
If you were out on the edge,
Questa è la
you're going
correzione
in
che avevamo segnato,
on the
ok?
external edge. And they were looking at me like, I say, you don't have to hesitate. You
Right.
need to know this rule.
And that's
It's your
why-
target, it's your
Abbiamo
first
3
dimension.
minuti e 50.
And as you're setting up, usually your shooter and spotter will talk back and forth. They want to know what size the target in mils or minutes. We'll talk mils. If it's a 0.6 wide target, you know then if you're missing off right edge, your correction has to be at least 0.3.
Yeah.
And that brings you to the center of the plate. So a 0.4 is quite reasonable. Sometimes you'll see shooters miss off of an edge, and you'll hear of a 0.2 correction. A 0.2 might get you onto the edge, not even close to the center, and you're giving up the rest of the plate.
Exactly.
It makes no sense if you're off an edge to be less than a half of a plate call. But you hear that quite often. So you hear it and you watch the match and you see the results, and you learn from it more than anything else.
Niente.
Wow.
Non vediamo nulla. Sentiamo anche
Mettiamo sotto?
lo spotter ha detto che non l'ha vista neanche lui.
Però? Ok, spot ready.
Some courses you shoot, like King of 2 Miles in the U.S., for instance, if you don't get a feedback, it's usually because you hit a crease in the rocks or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some discrete feature that is eating up the response. So when you do have a no feedback, then you have an idea where it is. Unfortunately here, there are so many places,
Ribatti.
fantastic. There's so many things to eat the target or eat the feedback that doesn't really help you out much. Of course, that black spot on the target, that helps a lot.
Spot ready.
Ready.
Send it. Sei andato 0,6 andato, 0,3 fuori dalla piastra, 0,2 fuori dalla piastra, a destra.
Destra.
Sì, destra. Altezza è buona. Stai fuori dalla piastra 0,2, devi dare almeno mezzo 0,5 a sinistra,
Ok.
per entrare in piastra. Tu vuoi tenere 0,4?
Sì.
Vai. Spot ready.
And this is always a question, whenever you have an impact followed by a
Send it.
miss, do you chase the miss or do you have faith in the shot that was the impact?
No, non l'ho visto.
Niente.
Since that was a high impact, there's a good chance he's off the top of the plate.
Io la ribatterei uguale, Ro.
But unfortunately, I don't understand exactly what the spotter. I don't understand their conversation.
L'ultima altezza era buona. Stavamo 0,3 fuori dalla piastra.
I would
0,2,
just
0,3
shoot
fuori dalla
again,
piastra.
same
Okay.
point of impact.
Quella più
And
ho
then
visto,
now
quella più ho
they
visto.
are thinking maybe this,
E la
maybe
prima
that.
è l'unica che ho visto.
That's my preference. Once I have an impact, I try not to change too much. Definitely not
Well,
to where I'm off the plate on my
Well,
next hold.
actually, the spotter says, "Okay, go again
Okay.
and again." But if you see, I have like the feeling he struggled a little bit with his position. He's always trying to correct the rifle, so it's.
Yeah, part of it is if you're using a bag rider and you're in the bag, you want to make sure that it's firm on the bottom of the bag. Otherwise, on recoil, the back of your rifle is going to drop. So that's part of what he's doing as well. Is he's wiggling to make sure it's settled in and he's got a firm position on his bag.
Te la senti?
Sì.
Vai, spot ready.
Ready.
Send it. Non ho visto, no. No.
Another variable there is sometimes
Bella, Ro.
shooters you'll find with their rear bag, it won't be straight in line with the target, the recoil line. And if it's a little bit to the side, then on recoil, the back of the rifle kicks to one side or the other. So I think part of what he was doing is going a little front to back to make sure he had a nice straight line recoil. So he's testing his overall setup.
Abbiamo visto come continua a essere sempre difficile riuscire a prendere le piastre a queste distanze con queste condizioni di oggi. Anche dopo l'impact non è riuscito di nuovo a ribattere. Sembra che siamo a 10 tiratori, mi sembra che hanno tirato già 2, 4. Sì, siamo perciò a metà
We
dei
are
tiri.
half of the match.
Ricordiamo che abbiamo avuto solamente
This we don't have to worry about painting targets.
4, 5, 6 impact.
But we are going to destroy the targets later on.
Absolutely. And I'd say that any of the shooters that shot this morning, if they had another run at it, they would be destroying the target as well. It happens all the time when I shoot a match, regardless of my performance. As I'm driving home from the match, however many hours it is, you replay everything, each shot and each miss or hit, whatever you did, and you're thinking, what could I have done different? What could I improve upon? And it's usually a challenging period of time, but then you reach some revelation of what needs to be done. So by the time you get home, you're already ready to make those adjustments to your gun, to your loads, whatever it is. You've got something figured out that you want to try for the next time. I think I've told this story before, but I had a few years ago, where I wasn't having very much success. So I would shoot a match, I'd come home, and my wife would ask me, well, how did it go? I said, well, it was a learning process. I mean, I learned something. Okay, next match. Come home and she's, oh, how'd it go? Well, I learned something. Well, then finally I was going to King of 2 Miles, walking out the door. She asked me, are you done learning yet? We ended up 3rd place that year. So it was a good match. I appreciate her. That was one of my motivations for shooting well that year. Like so many sports, we shoot these matches, and you have to learn the same lessons over again. You figure out how to do something, and then either we get complacent or we start focusing on a different variable, and we'll make a similar mistake over again. There were a couple matches this year, running pretty strong throughout it. The last target set, I'd have a mental error. Maybe you misdial the turrets, to where I'm off by one rotation. In that case, I'm more worried about what the wind was doing, shifting 530 to 630 wind, so I want to know where is it. And in the process, I missed all my turret, so it didn't matter what the wind was doing. I was in the next county. So it's just a lot of different things we have to stay on top of throughout the match.
This sport really, I mean, you can really change day by day. And then you can also be perfect day by day. And even though you are not going to hit the target the day, the next day maybe yes, and the next day maybe no. Shooting has always been something really difficult. There are so many variables, starting from the purse, which is the biggest variable,
right?
And then you have all the environmental factor, your scope, the ammunition, the powder, the bullet, the bipod, and the monopod, and this and that. It's very difficult to maintain, to have like I reached the right standard, so from now on it's me. No, everything is around you. It's something new.
Ecco, che si è cimentato a tirare un altro team italiano, Fabrizio Giugia.
The next time you go to a match, the firing line is different, the targets are different, the wind is different. So regardless how comfortable you were in your last match and whatever corrections you've made, you've got a new set of problems to deal with.
Hai anche 0,9 basso.
That's one thing we find is the people that shoot a given venue multiple times. Generally, the first time you shoot it, everyone struggles. But then you start to figure it out. You decode the course, and the scores come up quite a bit. So we have a lot of discussion in the U.S. about that, where a course becomes so familiar that the hit rates are astronomical. We've got one that we shoot every month, and the targets are slightly different from month to month, but largely similar. And our hit rates are up over 80%. You almost have to hit 90%. You need 90% in order to win the match. And that's crazy compared to what we used to do in these matches. I mean, if you were to blank a target or even drop 2 shots or 3 shots, it takes you out of the match, and it used to never be that way.
But how many rounds do you shoot per year?
Per year? Oh gosh, in matches, I probably shoot 2 matches a month. So every 2 weeks I shoot a match.
Sinistra.
So if you want to say 40 match or 40, 80 per month.
Okay. And you don't
About
have
800 a year.
100,
800.
800 a year. Okay. And don't you have training in between?
Don't have time for much training.
Okay.
It's mostly shooting matches. How you doing, Harry?
So the match is the training.
Matches, training, and again, that's where you as I said, you try to figure out what you want to change, learn, and adjust, and you'll generally show up to the next match a day early during sight-in time or whatever you've got available to test whatever change you've made. And then you run your match, and you're hoping that's the correction that needed to be made. But unfortunately, I don't have as much time as I would like to train. But for me, training is shooting at 50 feet with my 22 long rifle. I'm training more on the trigger squeeze than I am the ELR concepts. I'm fairly confident that I know how to predict bullet drop and wind corrections. I don't really need to train that one too much, but my own mechanics are what need to be worked on.
Impact.
Ripeti.
First round, dead center.
Era leggermente basso.
I was just eyeballing the target here, target number 6, and I noticed that it's hardly any hits on it. And now it seems that it's really,
That's your banner that's doing that, I think.
I bet. Yeah, I was thinking the same. I hope they still appreciate our services, but going pretty well. What do you think about the grandpa glasses? Talking a little bit about the techniques in it. It's a kind of a thing, you know. I use it myself too to see the turrets way better. You know, coming to age just a little bit with the eye.
I think that's...
I'm going to buy this one. I saw here for the first time, and I already said I'm going to order. As soon as I'm at home, I'm going to order one. Maybe 2.
I think that's very useful.
I need also for the windage.
I've got readers on my sunglasses, so my age is starting to show up as well.
I get that question a lot of times in the Netherlands. It's like, what do you do with the older eyes? So usually switch optics brands. It's like, hey, what do you use then? But the grandpa glasses from MDT. That's I think they made it MDT. No, not MDT. MK Machining. They were like first with those kind of items. So, but it's challenging again. And what the offset is for the bullet, you know, the correction. It's every time a challenge. Every time a challenge. Little boy having a good go at it. Team Little Boy. I already spoke about Fabrizio because he's quite a skilled shooter. It's seen at every competition actually in ELR. It's a very skilled F-class shooter. And again, the angle of the camera.
No impact. Anyway, 2 impacts.
Good job. Especially today, we're not seeing too many impacts, so anything at this point will be a differentiator.
Yeah, and I heard some of the boys talking about strategy. You know, as they were, you know, we basically had a chat about it too. It's like, you know, hey, if you don't see anything, why don't you, you know, start a little bit low, work your way up.
Right.
You know, with the shots. But it's hard because, you know, the stress, you know, would you be able to do it, you know, because, you know, every round counts. And
we all made the same comment.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, that was a point of contention a few years ago at King of 2 Mile. We had a cold bore target followed by the scoring targets. This was on the second day. The question was, do we have to shoot the cold bore, or can we shoot a different rock face to get our wind data?
There you go. Yeah.
And the match director responded with, no, you can't shoot the rock face because that's not sportsman. The intent is to shoot the target.
And was there like around the cold bore, was there like a safety zone? It was like you either go in any direction.
It was intentionally obscured with trees and just whatever to make it difficult to see your misses. Because at King, they wanted to challenge the spotter as much as the shooter. Yeah. So they wanted to see whether or not the spotter could follow the trace into the target or near the target and then make a meaningful correction.
Yeah. I vividly remember the other competitions we did, and then, you know, just seeing like a sheer 6 mil out of the target at the first shot, and then that rotating.
Yeah.
There you go. It's like, oh, we're off, and then the second. The first target that being engaged is like a proper hit, dead center. It's like,
yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
There was a run at Spear Point earlier this year. Jacqueline Bryan, excellent shooter. Her first shot, I think it was on T2, was off by a decent amount. We'll say a minute and a half off the plate. The next one, dead center. Follow up, dead center. Talking within an inch. Next one, dead center. She hit 4 shots. The group couldn't have been more than 3 inches.
And what distance was this?
That's it. I think it was about 1,600 yards.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it was phenomenal. She just had one black spot on the target from 4 shots. Incredible.
Oh, we spent yesterday in another small international dinner, talking about the projectiles these days. Because whereas have you seen in the past years, like you've seen the solids, the monolithic bullets for true ELR shooting, like the longer distances, but for the shorter distances like this, up to 2K, those Burger 245s or the Hornady A-tips, that's a very nice bullet in the 30 cals, but also in the 338s. Hey, we got your fellow Americans coming up now.
Yes, he is.
It's like, oh.
Drew's got Paul as his spotter, and they've been working together all year. I think it's helping Drew out quite a bit. He's learning quite a bit. This is his second year at shooting ELR. He's progressing rather rapidly.
Yeah. But those IBC bullets, it's I keep coming back at it. It's very nice. Also the printing on the target, nice gray spots.
Yeah. Well, that's to your point. Even in heavy gun, the 390 A-tips, Hornady A-tips, are starting to get a little more traction. Because it's a lead cores, you get the feedback on the targets, and that's my story earlier about Jacqueline shooting. She was shooting the A-tips, so it gave nice feedback. So you know exactly where she was impacting the target.
Right. Yeah.
So she and her husband Shane are both running the A-tips.
Yeah, that's nice. Setting up for the shot, checking your parallax, bubble level, everything in order, blood pressure.
So we have an almost wide target. This target was hit once.
That's great.
With an edge hit.
On the very edge. I mean, it was a bullet with
a
the hand
half a bullet.
outside, like, how you take it?
I wanna talk to that sponsor over there. On top, that solid
solution design.
I think you need to check your banner when you're done. Find out how many impacts it has on it.
That's a cool one. That's a cool one.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed, it's on the top. It's on the right edge. Eh? Wow. Some splash.
Well, the very first round, it appeared to be on rifle talk on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So the banner on the rifle talk. So the first shooter of the day, the first impact.
Okay.
It appeared to be there.
What are you at now, Drew?
Last chance for this target. Let's go.
That was it. So
that was already it.
That was number 3. But he's got good wind off of this, so he should be able to carry that across fairly well. So that's.
But I think those targets are like 0.6.
They're probably 0.6 by 0.6, I think.
Yeah, so his offset is a good 4 to 5 clicks in it.
Yes. Now they're looking at. They're trying to look at it. Okay. Well, we were missing. We were off the bottom, so we're about 0.6 off the center. So they want to add that correction on and compare that with the data, the prediction for that distance. And they'll probably carry that correction across to the next data prediction.
Yeah.
If I know Paul, he would have already lased these targets himself to confirm the distances.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been using the Vectronics PLRF25 to get all those targets just for proper bearing.
That's one of the challenges with traveling to matches is you can't take your whole complement of equipment. Yeah. So sometimes you have to leave things at home that you would have at your local matches.
Yeah.
I guess local's a relative term when it comes to that, but
it looks like he might have a Bixen Andy trigger in there. That blade, it
looks like
sure.
That's what I have in mind, and as well as my heavy gun is Bixen Andy.
Yeah.
I know, but that's Paul's preference. So if Paul spec'd out this rifle, it's going to be a Bixen Andy.
Yeah, it's an awesome product from Austria, and you keep seeing them popping up everywhere. So,
yeah,
it's nice. So no grandpa glasses on this on this optics there. Yeah.
And the time's run.
Yeah, normally on your setup, you would you usually don't want to get up to make a bipod adjustment in the middle of a string. So generally, the way you do is set up for your last target first, and then you adjust your rear bag to come give you the less vertical for your closer target.
7.
Looks like
Yeah, 4 minutes.
yeah, he's struggling a little bit with his setup. He's got plenty of time, but he doesn't look perfectly comfortable at this point.
I feel the wind coming up again a little bit. Yeah. So this wind is coming from from 9 o'clock towards the target. So my guess is they don't correct right, the shot will be going off to the right.
For the back setting, I love the monopod and a very small bag, just in case you need a little bit more. But this is it. So when you have the monopod, you can regulate quite quickly. There is no stress. In case you need something more, then you can add something underneath it. But
yeah, the wind has been moving around quite a bit. Right now, we're shooting at a direction of about 130 degrees, the azimuth, and it looks like the wind is coming out of about 200 degrees right now. So he's going to be feeling it. It's coming up off the right.
Be ready.
So
Impact.
Oh,
there it is.
Give me a half
there you
high
go.
hold.
I think
No,
we've just got
hold
a,
half high and
got a
send
top
it.
one shooter.
Just hold half high and send. We have 2 minutes left.
Oh, that's good for the point.
Half high,
Wow.
send it.
How about that? That's sheer quality there. Very
So you'll hear Paul call it half high. Some people use the term
Half
favor
high,
high.
send it. 2 minutes left.
2 minutes of windage. Wow. What a 33 XE.
Half high. Half high. Hold half high over the center.
Holding.
Low and be ready. Give me a top of plate. Hold the top of the plate. 2 minutes left.
Nice to hear those remarks.
Impact.
Caught the corner
Top
on
of
that one.
plate. Send it.
He must not have seen the impact point since he was calling for just a vertical correction.
Low and be ready. Oh boy.
That was
last one.
that was inadvertent.
He's done. Yeah. Oh, that's the last one.
Well, you
that's
had
a bad
a
one.
good run going.
But a good
job.
run. Yeah, some proper impacts.
Yes,
Very nice.
that was
Very
good.
Nice. Hey, you see what's stressed though.
That's exactly what it was.
That's hard.
So we had, what was that, 1, 3, and 4?
Nice. Yeah.
3 and 4.
Well, that first hit on the 2K, that's a proper scoring. Yeah?
That's going to be giving him a 5x on distance, so that's a 10,000 point impact.
That's amazing.
Third and fourth round are 3x each.
Yeah.
Good job.
So that's 6,000 points per. So it was a good run for Drew. He's going to be disappointed with his last shot, but he can't be disappointed with his overall performance this weekend.
Definitely. I love the way the sun is reflecting the fibers of that manor stock that he has.
Absolutely.
Very nice product. Yeah.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time working on developing this stock for the ELR. Tom is an active ELR shooter himself, and like I mentioned, Jacqueline and Shane, they shoot for Tom. So they give him a lot of feedback for what we need as shooters, and Tom's very responsive to that.
Yeah. Wow, the top 20 ranking, see that Malta is leading with Tony.
Wow.
That's cool.
Very nice.
Just before Tony's run, I had a brief chat with him. He says, I ain't getting any coffee right now. He was only smoking cigarettes, so his blood pressure was rising, but they did well. And then, coming back to it is some form of a lottery, in a way.
It is.
You're coming over here from all over the world, actually, and then you just see what you can, effectively put on the target. It's interesting. But it's so cool. Hello, Rod. Seeing Malta on the win?
Morning. Yeah, I was quite excited to see Tony running his gun there. I actually went to see him when he had just got the gun from Italy, and he was running his loads and everything. And yeah, for someone who comes from a country without any ranges, it's pretty impressive.
It is.
Amazing.
Pretty impressive.
One range, 35 meters.
Yeah, no rifle ranges really. So yeah, we all travel over to Sicily to do this practice, this sport, and I'm really happy to see them come up the numbers over these days. I know they worked a lot for this, so kudos to them and Oliver. They did a great job. And it's really tricky, you know. We started shooting and I thought there's very little wind and we're going to see a lot of impacts in the beginning, and that wasn't the case. So I think it was also a matter of if you manage to see that impact, right? That miss.
Exactly. Yeah, we ran into that at King of 2 Miles this year. Our first day of preliminaries was a very mild conditioned day, and I was expecting a lot of high scores, and I was wrong. I think what happens when you have a seemingly mild day is you don't appreciate the variable or the wind that you do have. It's easy just to blow it off and not give it full value. Whereas when you are faced with something significant, you give it full credit and you're giving it all your attention. So it's very easy to underestimate wind whenever you don't feel much. And it's also challenging as well, because you may have nothing and then a little gust. Well, the bullet feels it, but we don't necessarily feel it as shooters. So,
it's what's striking. I see this next shooter getting set up, and I noticed that there's a small round sticker on the side of his rifle that says cold bore range from Denmark.
That is indeed.
That has been a marvelous place. It's sadly it is in a new status that is a little bit hard to reach these days. But the Cold Bore Range in Denmark, it was also a nice venue. It was just an utterly flat range. And you could shoot out to 3,000 some, I think 3,600 meters. Sadly, it has been rebooked, so to say, by the military, so you can't do anything anymore there. But it's nice to see those stickers, because also there for the Europeans that was a proper place to train.
Well, flat range, that can be challenging from a mirage standpoint. That's why I appreciate what we have here, where we're shooting over a valley. You end up having very little mirage at the target, so it's not obscuring your view of what's going on, and it makes it a more enjoyable venue.
Do you also use one of those the Garmins when you're on your rig when you're shooting?
I have one on my Garmin, or I have a Garmin on it, and I'm questioning right now just whether or not the recoil itself impacts the reading. I don't know whether it's significant or not. I still need to test that a little bit more, but right now I currently run with the Garmin on my gun.
Regia, can we listen to what the shooters are saying? I'd like to hear a little bit what the commenting is like, the spotting. Can we get the spotter? Regia, possiamo sentire i tiratori?
6 MOA.
Yeah, Sandberg.
Wow. Yeah, it's very, very low.
There's Bill
and
there.
Come left 1. I don't understand why so low.
No.
So I don't know whether the velocity was off. Now that might push us fucking over the top.
But there you go, that must be Bill. Yes,
that must be Bill.
Well, that's a unit of measure in the UK.
Spotting.
So the next shot will be...
Rob is running 245 burgers there. He'll be working on a new load.
No,
so I
not
think
C.
a new
Half
barrel
that
there.
adjustment.
And
relax, you've got
knows
plenty
his
of
gun
time.
very well. He's been running the same
there any
chassis
indication
for
why
about
that was
5
so low?
years now.
No velocity
first
issue?
trip of that chassis was to cold bore actually. So that's where it first went out of the country.
Very low velocity.
Okay, so just halve the adjustment I gave you. Don't touch the windage. Halve that elevation.
He may have had a clean bore or something. He may have done something to the rifle to make it slightly different on his first shot.
Knowing Rob, I think he wouldn't touch it. I think it's probably say if it works, don't touch it.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
But
It's not his fault. It's not his loading fault. It's the gun.
Yep, spotting.
Just feel that wind, it's coming and going, coming and going.
That's true.
It's hard.
Again. So that was 4 MOA low. Right, we're coming over. Move targets.
Now the transition. Let's see how they do this. Hey, you have an offset. What do you want to do with it?
I don't know.
Take it into account for
So
your next
I'm
target?
coming over to the other target, but you were 4 MOA low there. Windage looked good.
As a shooter, it's very frustrating because you think you've got everything dialed in and you're understanding all your variables, all your system.
Change nothing because you're
And when
just
you have
hit
a
below the
significant
target
miss,
for me.
It really makes you question everything.
Yes, move up to the next
Honestly.
target. You've got 4 minutes 30 seconds.
There's so
It's
many
fine.
things it could be.
Time is
Is
good.
it a scope issue? Is it a load issue? Is it what? A setup of your bag, your bipod, something like that?
Yeah, but also some proper mental coaching here, because Bill's really easing Robert.
He is.
Like, hey, of all the time in the world, easy, just take your aim, regain your base position, you know, watch your shooting.
I'm on it, spotting.
Yes, the spotters.
Stick to the plan.
They are half psychologists when they're trying to keep the shooter calm and not
Remember,
in
it's
the
on
game.
the ridge, on the road.
There's also an extension there on the gun.
See it?
Some sort of extension pushing it
Don't worry,
about another
take your time.
8 inches out on the bipod.
Well, it's got a big 7 to the left of it.
We can see in the background.
5 MOA to the left is a big number 7 with red.
That's where I'm from. I
Frame
didn't
is
see
red.
it. So.
Doesn't matter if we go low, because I'll adjust you on. But I need a shot down. We're 3 minutes 30 left.
So that's a lot of time. 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes for 5
There's
shots.
a 7, big 7
that's a
in
long
white
time.
to the left of it. There's no other plates up on the hill, mate.
There's a
Generally, as long as I've got a minute for
The
5
red
shots
frame
left, we're
around
good
the
to go.
target with a black piece of paper on the top and whites down the side.
paper on the top, no?
It's got a big number
So
7
did the
written on it,
wind
mate.
start to wake up?
How can you not? There's no other targets out there.
Okay.
You can't be on the wrong target, mate.
Okay.
At this point, I would.
2
Bill should
minutes
be
40,
checking his
so let's get
alignment
a
on the
round
gun,
down.
checking against the target. That would help him out as well. Just give him the confidence.
Jay, do you like
get you on.
having a red dot on the scope to help you out with that? Do you
Spotting.
think it has any benefit?
I imagine for some shooters it would be useful. I tend to find some other secondary landmarks to help me find the target, or I'll get up off of the gun itself and do a visual line up to the target as well. Generally don't try to find the target through the scope. I'm going to look for some other way of lining it up visually or
Wind's
physically,
picking up.
and then the last thing get on the scope to then find it.
Wind freshening.
Likely they have some
Firing.
time. They have time, so
Yeah. Yeah, normally what you'd want to do as you're progressing or you're setting up to shoot
No,
a match
not seen.
is
Were
you
you
want
sticking to
to
the plan?
rehearse
Yeah.
the transitions from target to
Okay.
target. It
You
might
weren't- you
be
certainly weren't low that
from
time.
target 1 to target 2 is just a left pan. Target 2 to target 3
no.
might be 2 o'clock or 10
Really
o'clock
anyone
or
saw
whatever
anything.
clock position you know to move that line, and
1
you're
minute
going to get to your
45.
target as well.
Spotting.
No joy.
So he must be short again.
Yeah, not so much you see, and also the angle of the
No,
camera.
you must be
know.
going high.
It's a little bit hard
Not
to see.
seen. Come down.
But
Come
it's-
down
it's
a full
tough.
plate.
This is also mentally tough. It's
I
like,
can't
Yes.
see it if it's going over the
all
top.
red, no hits, no nothing. No joy.
yeah, it's like a plane falling. It feels like a plane falling in free fall, and you cannot stop it.
That's right.
Because there's nothing wrong with the gear, you know. It's like high-tech stuff. So. But also look at the flags here, you know. It's
Not
hard to
seeing
see
anything,
from,
mate.
For the viewers, but we see those flags.
2 more rounds.
Dusting. It's hard.
Well, there are times you're shooting, if you're holding center, you may go off the top edge. And you think, okay, fine, I'm going to do a bottom edge hold. And you shoot there, and then you're off the bottom. You're thinking, well, I've only moved half of a plate, and yet my bullet moved a full plate distance.
Yeah.
So it feels like the target shrinks sometimes.
Yeah, I totally dig that. Yeah.
I thought that was an impact. That was very close. It was coming in. I could see the swirl.
Adjust.
I would say aim top right of plate. Your last round, 20 seconds. Top right of plate.
4 seconds.
Now, if it's an impact, that'd be very impressive.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. That was.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, so it's
know
a
what anyone else
hard field, the hard range to shoot at.
It is.
It's quite challenging, and it
I can
keeps
see
coming
all the
up. You know.
strikes at,
Small adjustments of the wind means like big corrections in your elevation.
And there's a challenge as well because the bullets go up into the sky as well. So even if you're following trace, it's very easy to lose them up there instead of following it all the way into the target.
And that brings us a little bit back to the projectiles, you know, because I noticed that when we were shooting, and we were talking about this yesterday too. It's like, you know, the swirl that Bill mentioned, you know, the optical swirl that you see going towards the targets. You know?
Yep.
it seems to me that those some of those Berg bullets, they have like a massive swirl in the air. It's like you see them in flight changing on their angle. It's like, this is going to miss. There you go. Whereas the Hornady bullets, they have a little bit flatter trajectory, less how to say that?
Well,
less wobbly in the air, to see. But
that's I think it's a cleaner flight or whatever. You probably just have less. Whenever you consider the trace or swirl, it's a disturbance of the air. Well, the bigger the disturbance, the more drag you're creating. So I think sometimes you trade one thing for another.
Yeah.
Likewise, some bullets are very pointy, and I'm thinking of like Dan's bullets.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's a very high BC bullet.
Highest on the market, I think, still,
But when you shoot, many times they're so pointy that they dig into the ground, to where you don't get a strong feedback, as opposed to a bullet that's going to mushroom out and cause more disturbance to the terrain.
Yeah, I have had this chat with Dan also many times, because simply the whole idea behind it was for those bullets to act as well as they can, just within a certain distance, if you will. And those high BC bullets, if they go into soft soil, it's hard to read that.
Exactly.
But they are very consistent, I say. Also in-flight data is very true. So yeah, I'm a big fan of those, actually. Also, what's nice is the top shot of the rankings currently. He was using one of these Moab brakes from Dan, and I think it's a proper skilled and made tooling of proper made muzzle brakes.
Yes.
Very fine to the detail. Of course, they're a little bit higher priced, but it's what you get back is very nice product.
Well, Dan's quality of work is just unsurpassed. He makes some of the prettiest components out there. Everything from bullets to dies to everything. Anything Dan does, he puts absolute attention to it. You just can't top his work.
Oh, exactly. And as his dad is now cutting up some new inserts for the dies, the sought after dies in the 416 caliber and up, maybe also for the 460, and just waiting for the heat treatment. It's out of this world. It's a Formula One, NASCAR style shooting supplies. Very nice. So, now we have another.
Now we have Danny Gilbert's coming up. Danny's one of the top shooters in the U.S. in the light gun class, and with Brian Cataneo as his spotter, that's a pretty powerful team.
Yeah, I noticed that Daniel was running one of those hand-shot spotter scopes, 45s. A little bit hard to get these days in Europe because they changed a little bit of their policy, just strict military to manufacturer to military sales these days, and everything in between. But
and you'll notice Danny's shooting a 300 Norma improved. He's actually one of the guys that's causing a trend in the U.S. Toward the 300 Norma.
It is a Norma improved now. That's good.
So he's shooting that, and he's had such success, and Jeff Medlin would be another, that are causing the population to shift over pretty much away from 33XC. And move to something else. And these guys are having success out to 3,000 yards with the 300 Norma. I think at one point it was thought to not be competitive at that range, but these guys are showing otherwise.
But do you think? Do you know what kind of angle is running? A 35 angle? Because you mentioned that it's actually like it's a 40 degree, 35.
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask him.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Okay, it's close. Elevation seems good.
It would be really nice to see now, finally, a center hit.
From our angle, it looked like it was off to the right, but from their perspective, they saw it straight over, so they're happy with that, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, it's getting closer. But more or less in the same sector.
Okay, so that was just off the right edge. So you heard him with a 0.4 call. That's what I was saying earlier, that when you're off of a right edge, minimum is going to be a 0.3 correction. 0.4 is if you see a little bit of air between the point of impact and the target.
Yeah, so you can see it because of the target size, of course. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Challenging.
But they did see 3 shots compared to some of the other shooters earlier in the day.
Yeah.
That's an improvement.
Yeah, let's see the transition now to see how he's setting himself up. You know, just clicking a little bit of the bipod. I noticed that at the first shot, his whole board was flying away. So I'm not sure if he still needs that.
Well, that was off to the side. So that was, I'm not sure. I think that's going to be one of his rear spacing boards that he uses under his monopod or his bag rider.
Yeah, and you also see the feet of Brian. You know, he's really close up to him. You know, just a little bit out of the angle of the shot. You know, it's a nice spotting position to be there.
I like to spot right next to my shooter just so I can have a conversation with him. And as was mentioned earlier, I like to watch him the turret manipulation as well.
Yeah.
Many times I'll make a call. Maybe I'll call for a 0.4 correction, and I'll see what the shooter does. Yeah. A lot of times they're putting their own logic and their own opinion in it as well. So I might see him do a 0.3 correction.
Yeah.
But then at least I know, based on what I saw, what to expect on the next shot.
Also noticed that he's running a inclination mount from Aerotech. It's like the variable inclination mount. So you see some UK made rifle, US made optic, and German mount. The best of all worlds.
Exactly.
Aerotech is also one of the sponsors here. They make really good mounts. I have all of them. I noticed that I've got both the quick detach and the normal one. I've been able to remove it, put it on the gun, fire the rounds, it stays exactly in the same spot. So if you're traveling, if you take your scopes off, it's bang on.
So there you go, setting up again, everything. Scoping it a little bit back. Just that last parallax check, bubble level, good to go. And again, he seems to be completely off in it.
That seemed like it was on the left banner.
He hit the empty target banner.
They're not going to see that. No, most likely they won't see that disturbance.
Before you came here, we had a nice chat about the banners. You know, that would reveal a little bit of the statistics where the bullets went. You know, because most of them are off the target.
I went to have a look yesterday to see how many were off.
Yeah.
There'll be more of this today than they were yesterday with these drifts.
I was just watching Danny. Hard to see.
Very hard. Yeah, very hard. There's no feedback. No feedback. I'm not sure what they are seeing, but the feedback on the camera is
minimal.
Yeah, minimal.
And that one that was on the right showed up really good in those rocks.
But again, you feel the wind gusting. You know, it's coming again.
What shooter are we on right now? You know what number?
Okay.
Is he seeing them at all? Can you hear?
He saw the early one off to the right.
Last shot.
And then he's not catching the ones off the left side, so they're not sure where they are right now.
Oh, that hit over there.
Yeah, right edge.
Yeah, I think he was hitting mostly left. His first shot was off the right, and then he corrected over, and then.
If it's low, you won't see nothing.
Okay. And my wind app right now is calling for a 3 to 10 mile an hour wind, which is relatively subtle, coming from 200 degrees. It's usually fairly reliable, but what we're seeing though is as the day progresses, the wind is shifting around from the southeast. It's turning around, from the northeast, it's going around to the southeast today.
Hey Jay, I got a question for you.
It's really picking up now again. So.
Maybe for you and Harry. So, you know, the chances of taking the 2000 on the first round is quite slim, yeah? So, would you put one round, would you sacrifice a round on your first shot, very, very low, because anything above that's not going to give you anything, right?
If I got good wind off of the first target, then I wouldn't sacrifice one on T2, because usually that's enough to give you the confidence to get on your next one. So, if I had my again, whatever information I was able to get off of one, I wouldn't sacrifice on two. I might possibly do it on one though, especially if one has lower point values. So if I was going to give one up, that's where it would be.
Interesting. Just sharing a little bit of knowledge exchange. Actually, this is also where it's mainly about. Just this international shooting. If you meet up, it's like, hey, what's your take? What you gonna do? And since we're all not shooting in the finale,
exactly,
you can share your secrets. Like,
I feel almost guilty for talking right now because if I was a better shooter, I would be shooting today, and I'm not.
Yeah, that goes for me too. It's my team is the first year not in the finale, so I was like,
that's a pity, Harry, that you're not actually shooting. I would have loved to see how you go about it this morning.
We'll be back next time. We'll see each other at the King, in France. So I'm gonna go off. Gonna give the mic to a new speaker and get
Paul
you in a
Phillips.
bit, man. Let's see who wins. Malta for the win. Who knows? Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm sure Tony's gonna have a big day if he runs away with that trophy.
Oh, thanks.
Tony had a strong run. That was really
Very
impressive.
strong run. And that, for me, it was interesting because I remember the days when he was building that gun, because I went to his house and I wanted to see what he's up to. And then they went to Italy. I think they got part of it done in the UK, part done in Italy, and they drove all the way up to go and do all the work. And so I saw it coming together, and then seeing it today on the line and putting 5 shot 4 and 1, that was quite amazing. Especially, as I said, from people who actually have 0 ranges. Like if you want to zero the gun, you have to come here. Anytime you want to do anything with your gun, you have to come here. If you want to do low development, you have to be here. So that's it's very disruptive, It's like wanting to sail if you live in the desert. It's a bit like that.
Right.
So I think that really appreciate what they did because of where they come from and how they're still this is the 4th year they're doing this and they're determined, So it pays off at some point, starts paying dividends.
We do have the advantage of having monthly or semi-monthly matches, whether it's at White Oak or Spear Point, things like that, where there are friendly ranges you can go to, and it's every month you've got another match. So if you're working on something or setting up a new rifle, you don't ever have to wait very long before you can field test it and run it through a match and see what it's doing.
Yeah, I always say it. Every time I take the gun out of my gun rack, it's 1,000 quid. So every time you do that 10 times, it's 10 grand. So this sport and for a lot of Europeans, but Malta is not the only country. Many others, like Netherlands, is in a bit of a similar situation.
Fermo.
But on the other hand, there's an opportunity because people want to learn more and they take things seriously. So if they're in it, they're really into it. And that gives you basically the tip of the spear. When I meet people from Holland, they travel, they're like the tip of the spear. You'll find them there, you'll find them somewhere else. And we did the same, and one of the main reasons why I started this whole match was because of that. So not having the possibility to do anything, I said, let's turn this around and see how we can, put it together. And then it will provide not only shooting opportunities for me, but also for like-minded people who want to do something, and that ball started rolling.
Sono saliti di là. Stamattina sono saliti di là.
Yeah, sometimes I think that we almost have too many matches because I spend all my time shooting matches and no time actually practicing. And I sometimes think that I'm just practicing my mistakes.
Well, you know what they say? They say the best practice is shooting matches.
There's that point too.
Hey Paul, you had a good run this morning. I noticed it started more or less on the first target, but then you seem to have found a sweet note on the second.
Yeah, we were all over the target. I mean, we were right side over the top, off the left at the first one. Actually, we're going to challenge the second shot on target 1. I think we had an impact on the top of the plate. I saw a black mark up here, so we'll have to look at that one.
Okay, second shot on?
Second shot on target 6.
Target 6.
Yep.
Okay.
But and then the last target, I nailed the wind at 7, right in the middle of the plate. We were favoring a little bit low, just because of the trend on target 6, and it worked. And actually didn't even do any windage adjustment between 6 and 7, because during the preliminaries, I noticed it was kind of an oddball wind going on down there. We actually had to go right when the wind was showing right to left. It was really weird, like a swirl or something. So we carried forward the same phenomenon, and it worked. both days. So it really is, when you're shooting here and you know your own range, there's some really weird things, quirks from have range knowledge, home range knowledge.
Well, I think what happens on this range is we feel one thing at the firing line, and there's something else going on downrange. So just the way the hill curves around, sometimes it may have a left to right, and it feels right to left at the range, or at the firing line, sorry. So right, it can lead to some misleading.
Well, even
right now, it's coming from right to left,
and
so right wind doesn't really surprise me.
For sure, yeah, and we have mountainous terrain, right? So we have mountains all around us. And when you have wind in mountains, it can be really weird.
Absolutely. Raton shows us that all the time. You can pull up a wind app in Raton, and it's just twisting and turning all over the place.
Yeah.
So you just have to really go with what you know the terrain is doing, and you have to learn that on the fly when we're here, looking at the valleys and the ridges to try to get a feel for what the wind is going to do around all these details.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's challenging. That's why it's challenging to shoot extreme long range. There's so many variables. What are we holding up for right now?
The next shooter. I'm not sure. Maybe we're halfway through, so maybe they're going to paint targets.
I think we're at like shooter 13 or 14.
Oh, okay.
So I think we only have like 6 or 7 left, I think. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to paint for the amount of impacts that we've got today.
So they're going to paint?
No, I'm saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Are we painting, Rod? Are we painting?
Today we'll keep going.
What's the holdup?
We'll finish.
Ma non bisogna sparare al cavallo. Bisogna
There's no
sparare al
painting,
cavaliere.
stopping and painting envisaged for the finals run. We do it on the full day, but not when we have like a half-day shoot.
So you're not painting now?
Why is it taking long for this setup? What's going on right now? What's going on right now? What's the delay on the setup?
I'm not sure.
Maybe you had to go to the bathroom.
Prima di fare questo devo cercare di rimanere alla macchina perché sono tra l'altro senza macchina. Ora vediamo.
A 30 secondi.
Se continua così o no?
No, non girano a sinistra.
Ma solo un macello, non è che è un cavallo, c'è una carovana di cavalli.
So they have to get the horses out.
We were shooting in South Africa, we had wildebeest.
In caso sparo a bordo piastra?
In assetto.
No, sapete stanno andando verso destra. Stanno costeggiando la linea verso destra. Sparo uno.
Beh. Sinistro, giusto?
Yeah, we had some horses that came on to the range and yeah, basically we want to wait to make sure that they're out.
Una scannata. Guarda, vedi come camminano ora.
Quindi aspetta, da qui fammi capire.
Prenderanno questa strada, arriveranno qua e cominceranno a salire sopra la montagna. Però Vito, stanno prendendo la strada tipo andando verso il che c'è a cava. Ti gioco poi c'è da cacchiare anche la montagna, che se finiscono proprio romane se chiamano dopo. Sì, però dico, ci dobbiamo fermare per un'ora, anziché passano tutti, se pigliano sta strada. Fisca.
Che cosa c'è? Io a pesare.
Che cosa gli devo andare? Telepaticamente mi devo collegare?
Non devi fare 300 gradi di palla.
È andato proprio per questo. L'ho detto qui per lui.
Mandali un messaggio sotto forma di 300 gradi. Per un problema tecnico.
Siamo visti poco, non siamo stati.
Nipotina, Vito. Ciao.
Una delle 2:30, 2:15.
Ah, qua. A momenti esce.
È
vero. Bella bella.
Who's this guy?
No idea.
Irish guy? Australia. Oh, it must be the owner of the company. Yeah, are we turned on or off? Or
What's that?
are we turned on or
I
off?
turned mine off.
How do you turn it off?
Slide that thing away from.
C'è tutta una montagna di peggio, quindi non possono passare le motociclette e le macchine.
Ma non ha possibilità. Ah, con i cavalli.
Con i cavalli.
E lui non ha possibilità con la macchina tipo di mettersi in un punto coperto, ovviamente, che per non farli passare.
Sopra no, perché era chiusa per le moto, per le macchine, non avevano proprio. Devo aspettare che vengono i cavalli. Porca miseria, questo modo che... Ma cosa devi chiudere? Dal mezzo in vigneto loro passano da dove vogliono.
Certo.
Cioè tu chiudi la strada e loro... Ma sai quante volte li fermiamo anche con le moto? Che c'è la strada transennata, tutte cose, limite invalicabile, pericolo. Poi li fermiamo quando scendono qua sotto e diciamo sì, l'avevo visto, però mi sembrava, ma ti sembrava che tu muori? Ti sembrava che? Perché la domenica c'è sempre, vedi, durante la settimana lavorano così. La domenica c'è una volta quello con la moto che viene a fare fuori strada, l'altro che fanno la passeggiata ecologica, quelli che cercano funghi. E infatti per questo noi siamo sempre con gli occhi. Gli dico sempre a tutti, girate gli occhi sulla montagna, girate gli occhi sulla montagna. Perché il posto è bello e la gente si va a fare la domenica fuori. Si dice la domenica fuori mondo. Lo vedi là dentro? Li hai visti i cavalli? Avanti, ora basta, fai guardare. Hai visto pure mio? E loro guardano con quello e poi sparano, boom, e fanno questo, a volte.
Magari.
I messaggi sono
dagli un'occhiata se ne
dove c'è il vigneto
ancora
dove c'è il vigneto
diciamo, da dove vengono, chissà c'è qualcuno indietro che ancora
c'è quella striscia azzurra sopra la parte di fianco al vigneto c'è una striscia azzurra, poi poco sotto c'è una macchina.
Ma io vedo male.
Il bombo. E sopra è un po' sopra la collina.
Ma non è il mare quello, quelli sono i bersagli.
Lì sopra c'è.
Sono i nostri bersagli.
E sono visto a casa di una figlia. Chissà come li vedremo neanche. Dopo non vede perché non prospettiva non vede il nero. Chissà come li vedremo neanche. Sono tutti i travagli fatti. Sto mai salito non devo andare più.
Ah.
La figlia
da sparare.
Vabbè, non cambia niente, beh. Anzi, già è cavolo così l'avevo ricordato tutto suo. Non muovere perché appena ripartiamo hai 30 secondi e poi 7 minuti. 30 secondi ce la fai a rimetterti.
Vabbè, la macchina è in movimento.
Vabbè, aspettare i cavalli, sì, io ero
Non abbiamo stoppato il tempo, col pelo. Era già iniziato il minuto. Adesso solo gli lascio
se forse è un uscito ce l'ho. Mi sta cancellando pure l'angolazione a sfavore no. La bandiera come sa bene. No, sono ancora là sopra, stanno facendo manovra.
Senti, oh. Mento?
Con forza fa. Quant'è? Due K, 1,5 la macchina, Fabio.
Minchia, 2 sono 2.
2 su 2, 1,7. Ora vediamo.
Caricando bello pieno. C'avevo vinto
vicino al bersaglio.
Come nelle favole di Esopo.
Le Bipod le sparano più cattive, le sento più cattive. Per le pecore, le pecore in affitto sono macete. E poi invece sì, macete.
Peppe! Peppe! Aspetta perché sta scendendo la macchina.
Sì, loro sono andati, i cavalli loro stanno scendendo invece. Diventa abbato.
Io sentivo già il gusto dell'uccello del cavallo.
Mi sa che continua così ci vede.
Ma ci voleva la stagionatura seguendo il cavallo.
un po' di formatura
Un carpaccino però dobbiamo fare la veloce.
Insieme all'olio.
1 e mezzo.
Ancora
1 e mezzo, 2.
Prima 1,3, ora 1,30. Il calcio non l'avevo visto.
È prevalente un po' più. 0,7. 0,7. Un e mezzo, vedi ora Ovire. 1 e mezzo. Ovire.
Lo pigliamo tutti, lo pigliamo. Pigliamo tipo 80%. 1 e 1,3.
Giuseppe, siamo quasi fuori, siamo quasi pronti.
Quando mi dici che hanno tutto uno
Ma tu poi che fai? Alzi il bipede, giusto? Per
Voi
l'altra
siete già
piastra.
pronti?
Per l'altra piastra alzi il bipede.
Sì, ce l'ho, lo spazio ce l'ho. Parto con 1,3.
Quindi partiamo con 7?
7 e mezzo.
Ah, 7 e mezzo, ok. Avete 30 secondi ancora.
Ok.
7 e mezzo. O ci siamo pronti?
Peppe, hai munizioni?
Coperti, mi raccomando.
Bene, adesso.
Aspetta, sta uscendo.
Renato, chiedo informazioni sulla tua posizione.
Abbiamo copiato il verso.
Non ti abbiamo copiato, ripeti per favore.
Ora invece ti abbiamo copiato per te.
È chiarissimo adesso.
Ti abbiamo copiato, vedi come.
Che linguaggio.
I professionali.
Troppo professional, forza.
Ti sembravate un branco di analfabeti invece.
Provalo, prova a guardare.
Ok, quindi la linea è libera. Ok, grazie. Dobbiamo iniziare. Ok?
Ok, ci siamo? Siamo da
voi?
Vediamo i 7
Devo parlare
minuti.
ancora 6.
Giuseppe, sei pronto?
Sì, pronto.
30 secondi, 30 secondi. Vabbè, riparte, dai. Ok, ragazzi.
E non far complimenti.
30 secondi, sono partiti adesso. Vi do io il via.
Tra noi sì.
Come siamo partiti allora? 1 e 3?
Sì, 1 e 3 e palo a bordo piano. Sì.
Non proprio a bordo,
No? 1 e 3, allora sparo 1 e 3.
5 secondi.
No, a metà, tra centro e bordo.
Vai!
Fabio, pronto?
Chiudi. Fuoco. Hai un clic di alto e 2 a destra.
Un clic alto, 2 a destra.
penso di sì. Pronto? Fuoco. Fuoco. Up 5 clic. 5 clic a destra.
A destra quanto?
5. Sei pronto?
Sì.
Aspetta. No, non chiudo, allora non sto chiuso. Chiudi, dai. Puoi sparare.
Cambio! Bersaglio 7.
Peppe, sei andato 4 clic a destra.
4 clic a destra.
Di vento quanto hai sparato?
Ho sparato a 16, più 4 me.
20?
No, 16.
16?
16 a destra meno qua 12.
12? 25 e 5. Di 4 glieli devi togliere.
No, ancora 5.
Allora è 25 e 9. Tu hai scritto col punto interrogativo 25 meno 4.
So what's your approach on that, Paul, when you're setting up for, you see him doing a bipod adjustment on switching to a second target? Is that something you try to avoid? I personally do, but what's your approach on that?
I like to keep the rear bag and rear mechanics and rear system, I call it. I like to keep it all the same, and I like to adjust the bipod up and down. Keep the rear bag the same level, your head and eyes the same angle. When you start changing the rear up and down and sideways, it can change your point of impact.
Okay.
Yeah, because your head and eyes, the way they look through the scope, it's very critical that you have the same position.
Good point.
1,9 a sinistra. Vedi che abbiamo 3 minuti e 40.
That's, you see people with a tall, really tall bipod or rails.
Right.
And their head and eye is like way out of position. And it's hard to consistently do that.
That's true.
And so if you change your head and eye angle, it changes your point of impact. Same thing with parallax. Same thing. So we're on target 7, which is 2,000 meters.
Aspetta.
And if you notice, you got a little bit of a breeze kicking up. You can see it in the vegetation.
7 rosso, 7 c'è il numero e la piastra, una sola cinna.
But now we have also sunlight, which is good. You can see better. But now we have a little bit of a wind to contend with.
Sì, sì, il numero 7 è scritto a sinistra e la piastra. Non è nella stradella, è più alta a destra. Quella della stradella è quella vera. L'hai trovata? E levaci gli ingrandimenti.
Be interesting to see how the conditions changed from when before we took that break.
Yeah, it's not that much more. Just a little bit of a breeze.
More from a confidence standpoint of the shooter spotter. When as you're watching, getting ready to shoot, you get your mindset of what's happening.
Abbassa mezzo mille, come avevamo detto, non l'ho visto.
I didn't see anything on that one.
Can you understand what he's saying?
No, I only speak Swedish and English, so I'll stick to the two languages.
Vai.
Scientific guess would be that that's Italian.
Ah, over here.
Okay.
So
there.
Paul was pointing on the screen here, and it was low right.
Well, depending on the angle, it's a different angle, so we're not sure, but it appeared to be
low left, low right.
Low right.
I think that far right is going to be right.
Yeah, I would think. But again, though, it's different for us because we're on a high-definition screen on a video camera. When you're looking through the spotting scope, it's much more difficult to see.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right there.
Yeah, low and left now?
Maybe.
Maybe on
I'm
mine.
not sure. Yeah.
At least low.
We don't know the angle discrepancy, but it was definitely low.
Yeah.
Mancano 46. Cioè, sei andato 4.000 a destra, quindi è inutile che andiamo a toccare.
Impacto.
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 You got to do the hand.
Impacto. Very nice.
Poco a sinistra, pochissimo.
One in Rome or Sicily.
See if we can double it up. Oh, over here.
No, he went up.
Oh,
did it do a ricochet? Because you saw
it could have
dirt.
been a ricochet.
Yeah,
because I saw something kick up on the
and
left.
he kicked up way up to the right as well.
And that's the problem. You don't know if it's the initial or the
Absolutely.
ricochet.
We see that a lot on targets that have a large, like a run out on the front of the target. And you may skip it short, you don't see
You
that,
might
but
see the
You
ricochet.
catch the ricochet on the backside, and you think that's your initial
And
impact.
then sometimes the ricochets are bigger, been a bigger splash than the initial.
Yeah, a spinning target or a bullet, whatever it is,
Right.
it's doing much more damage. Yeah.
We had that at a match in Sweden where a guy, because it was the ricochet hitting the target, but it still hit. So the bullet hit the target. So it was like, what do we do? It was like, well, if the bullet hit the target, then that's kind of the point. But it skipped off the ground, and we went up and picked up the bullets, and they were flat on one side. And we handed them to the shooter, and it's like a nice memory to have.
Sure. That's a difficult thing. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So.
Because we didn't have any target cams. We just had the T1000 flashers, and when they went off, it's like, well, that's an impact.
Right.
So what do you do?
And really, I mean, to prove or disprove, you have to have a camera.
Yeah.
Right? And preferably one that's high quality that can be slowed down to see the movement.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when the bullets hit the plate in the ground, with the naked eye, you can't tell. But if you slow the camera down, literally within milliseconds, then you might be able to discern that.
Yeah, the problem you also run into that on that is sometimes you're looking maybe through glass, and you're maybe listening for the response. Cameras aren't always real time. Sometimes there's a slight lag on your camera response.
True.
So you may see a dust cloud and then a ding, and you think it's a skip.
Yeah.
In reality,
but I tell you, they're getting a lot better. Yeah. I mean, the technology, the processing speeds. I know with Long Shot with Clay, he's really worked hard on that, and is getting very good processors now, where they're getting much faster. So he's actually able to, slow the feed down and see those things, which is awesome. I mean, we really have our sport is so unique that, bench rest, F-class, PRS, you're not shooting that far, and we have other challenges that most disciplines don't have. So we have to have these cameras and videos and high technology, and it takes work to have a quality,
100%.
fair competition. But this here, I mean, I'll put a shout out to Rod. This is an amazing match. We've got a high-level film crew. We've got wonderful graphics with scores being updated instantly. I mean, this is top-notch professional match. And, I'll put a shout out to anybody in the world that if they want to come to an awesome location, a destination, Sicily, and have this technology with these immediate results. I mean, it is amazing. And the scenery and when you get done shooting in the evenings in town, it's just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, especially. And it's like compared to the U.S., the cost of everything, cost of living here, visiting, food, coffee, everything, I would say it's almost half price compared to the U.S.
Well, depending on where you go.
Well, yeah, that is true.
It's not destination price. We'll say that.
Yeah. Right.
It's not
but you're not going to
price.
see, the sites you see here. I mean, it's
no. But you can still go out here and have a coffee for $1.50.
Yeah. I mean, I've been having pizza and pasta every day.
It's going to start sweating gluten pretty soon.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just it's the destination, and they've done a really good job with the videoing and with the updated results, and very good job.
Yeah, and the improvement of the event and the shooters, like from year to year, is just like straight up. Like it goes it's so much improvement of the event of the shooters. It's and now we're back on targets here.
Ah, there's a nice nice view.
That's a good miss.
Yeah. He should have seen that, no problem.
Elevation good?
Yeah.
You clearly see the benefit of running the bigger calibers when you see the splashes out the 1800 and stuff
Yeah.
like that. The 338s, they make a difference compared to
No,
the
maybe
30s.
that was an angle, Jay. That was an angle. We saw it being under the plate, but I think it was probably to the right with
Must
our
have been.
angle. Yeah. So they just came left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's the angle, which you people watching the video, you're not seeing the proper angle of the camera. So it looks like he's low right, but he was actually just
Yeah,
right.
because the bullet's also coming in from an angle
Absolutely.
up, and for us it
Yeah.
looks like it's, you know.
So you got to be careful when you're watching the screen.
Yeah.
It's not a good representation of.
Very misleading at times.
Yeah. Which, if you're listening for some tips, it could go in the wrong direction.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to really trust yourself and your own wind and your own data and what you see through the scope.
Definitely.
Got 19.4 elevation.
But we got a fairly big chance for a first round hit here because his elevation in 1860 was pretty spot on.
Yeah,
and
very
now
much
he's
so.
got windage as well,
Yep.
pretty dialed in.
Good call. So yeah, it's
Yeah, if he has a sense of urgency and get on the gun, but the longer you wait, that wind call will probably change.
That's it.
Expiry date is pretty short.
So you really have to have a sense of urgency in these competitions, because the way we always say it, if you shoot and you have a miss, you just purchase that miss. You better make it count, because if you wait, then that miss doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
bottom
is.
right
Again, though, we don't know if
Just by
it's
the
the
post.
angle is.
Okay.
Yeah, that was by the right, upright.
1.5
So
left.
she was calling it over there. Pretty much what we saw, that's what she's calling as well on that one.
.4
It
left.
landed on the plane of the target, and that's
And
when
up.
when they're off of that plane is where we have
0.1
trouble.
up.
And there's the
Sort
thing
of a
is,
parallax issue.
yeah. There's only like a 10-15 yard difference between the backdrop, the wall there, and the target. So
You can go 0.3.
then again,
I
the
would
bullet's
say.
coming in a pretty steep angle.
Okay.
Impact.
Nice.
Nice. And she saw it before we did.
Exactly.
Same mode?
Yeah.
There's that lag that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was high. Just off at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, see, that's a great.
Okay.
That's a great example of how what we're seeing.
Oh,
And
for us, it looks like it's like 4 targets, right?
yeah, that's what Jay was saying with the delay. She
Yeah.
saw the impact before we did.
Yeah.
And then what we saw was a little bit off from what
Yeah.
she's seeing
Yeah,
at the
definitely.
target 6. But she's doing a great job.
Definitely.
She's seeing them and she's making adjustments, and that's all a shooter can ask for.
No, that was low.
Yeah, she's seeing all of them.
Yes.
Windage good?
Windage good, yeah.
Yeah, she's good. She's doing a great job.
Come up 0.3.
Can't really because I'm in between, and I.
I think she's hesitant to give too much of a correction since he's already been on the plate. She doesn't want to take him off the plate.
Didn't see that.
Yeah. That was a good run. Had 2 second-round impacts. That's good points.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity there.
And here's a picture of 3 very focused gentlemen looking at the same screen. Well, Paul's looking at his phone for scores.
Yeah. That's a lot more difficult than what people think. If you've never been in these final situations, it's a lot of pressure. Your peers are watching you, and you're on camera, and you're on the clock. And it's always different when you're up there and you have to face the battle of, having a timer, and then you have to just go with whatever the wind is at that time. Much more difficult than just practicing in your backyard.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, my background's in PRS, and even you can be at home at your own range, and you do 8 out of 8 or 10 out of 10, and then as soon as you got on a match, you got that 90-second par time, and you got 20 guys watching.
Yep, it's like when you you're a bow hunter, right? So when you're practicing out in your backyard and everything's fine, and you got all the time in the world, and then when you go hunting and you see that massive big buck come walking through,
got that buck fever,
and your heart rate's up.
Absolutely. Now, also, it's one of those things where, as we're preparing to shoot, you're looking and say, okay, I think these conditions are manageable. I think I've got it figured out. I know what to do to hit. But you're seeing guys in front of you not get the hits. So you're thinking there must be something else that I'm missing. You don't know what that is, but there's something else happening that
or maybe they all miss and you get it right.
Exactly.
You have to have confidence in everything that you do. Yep. And that's kind of a tricky situation when you think that when you ask somebody maybe what their wind was or watching and what they're doing, you don't know. There's so many variables. You have to really trust yourself. Right. Have confidence in your gun and your ammunition and your ballistics and your spotter. Because in ELR, these conditions change every second.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I was shooting the finals at King just a couple weeks ago, the shooter before me, it was like 5 or 6 minutes difference between us, and we only shot like 5 minutes apart. So if we wouldn't have trusted ourselves, we would have, would have been all over the place. But you definitely have to trust yourself and, trust your gun and believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, I see down there we get the Latvian guys are getting ready to shoot, and I think they're pretty much the only guys coming up here to the finals shooting a 6.5.
6.5.
They're shooting 6.5 PRCs with 153 A-tips at 3250.
And what's the name? Is that Ray?
Davis?
No. Davis Zobi?
Yeah.
David Ray.
Yeah.
So
c'est David Ray. Nous avons un tireur français qui est en train de se préparer. I'm really sorry, guys. I was speaking French. David Ray a fini 3e l'année dernière sur l'Extreme Shot Italia 3. Et nous l'avons aussi, il a gagné aussi le King of One Mile il y a 2 ans à Canchevers. Et nous avons un très bon tireur avec son spotter, Jean Fort. Donc hâte de voir le run. I will translate it for you in English because I say David was finished third the last year on this competition, and he wins the King of One Mile in Converse 2 years ago. And he's a very good shooter, and I'm really exciting to see what they will do now.
Is shooting 338 caliber?
Yeah. This gets 338 Lapua on this guy.
338 Lapua?
Yeah, I think it's a...
Some of the calibers are
they're off?
correct.
Oh, okay. My bad then.
We've said this before about David, and once he's on, he runs the target. He just runs the shots very quickly. That's his standard style. He's not doing anything strange or anything. He's a very quick shooter once he's on.
Yeah, you don't want to get your your wind call expire. So the faster you can be on target, the better.
Yeah, it's hard to predict the changes when you wait, right?
Yeah. I've shot a little bit of ELR, but I always tend to be very quick once I'm on target.
centre masse, feu libre. Ok. Tu me fais dérive plus 5.
You see that strong left to right wind that wasn't there earlier?
Yeah, notice when we're watching the impacts and watching the dust after the bullet hits the ground, and you can kind of get an indication of what the wind is doing at the target. No, that's pretty much straight up.
That one was straight up.
Yeah.
From shot to shot, you can see the variation.
Oh, he's letting her go, huh?
That's
fast.
Yeah. No, that can be problematic too, because you're not settled in your position.
It can be, but that's why my point was that was his normal way of shooting.
Yeah.
So
it's a fine balance.
No, I'm just saying for those people who are out there, that's a great tactic for wind, but you just have to be very careful that your position is consistent.
Absolutely.
The weight in your shoulder, the weight in your cheek, and the weight in your hand, all that has to be very consistent. Because if your recoil management changes, then that's your elevation changes too.
That's why it's tough for an observer to look at David as an example and say, okay, I'm going to shoot fast. Well, you don't know necessarily what else he's doing to make sure that that's a good shot.
As long as your team is understanding, it can be a great benefit to shoot quick.
Yeah.
But if they're not, if he shoots and the spotter wasn't ready, then you just lost a shot of the wind for the next shot. But no, I mean, these guys have shot well together, obviously, so they're right on point. But just know that if you do decide to shoot quick, you better practice it with your spotter.
Absolutely. And it should come natural for you. If it's not something you're doing because you want to be fast, it should be just your natural progression of the shot. It doesn't waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team has won a lot of matches shooting quick. I am an advocate of shooting quick.
Centre masse, feu libre. Ok.
Ce qui est très
Tambour, plus
intéressant
5.
avec David, justement, c'est de regarder la constance. Sa position ne bouge pas, l'arme ne bouge pas, et c'est vraiment très très intéressant. Ce qui lui permet quand même d'avoir une cadence de tir assez élevée, qui est très impressionnante.
I think he saw that impact, so we'll see if they
Yeah,
can.
it looked like it was, at least from our point of view, it was going off to the left. Oh,
Impact.
Top edge.
Midi. Midi. Oh.
Yeah, you're hearing them call for to hold it in the middle of the plate.
So that should be a hit, right?
Yeah, they need to update that scoring.
They missed him.
Number 3 should be an impact.
Yeah, number 3 was an impact.
Yeah.
They called it down there with the clock and everything, so.
Hein?
Yeah.
Écoute, 6 000. Ça sera peut-être pas suffisant.
This finals run is an interesting format in that it's only an 8-shot string. So these guys are done just as they're getting started. Normally, like as in yesterday, we had a 15-shot string. The day before, 13 shots. So it's almost hard to get into a rhythm within 8 shots.
Definitely. Yeah, all this stuff, you got to have all your calculations done, all your strategies and everything once you get up on the line. And there's not much time, not many shots to make corrections on.
So I think we got, what, 3 more shooters? Looks like.
Sounds about right.
And this is the 6.5 PRC?
I'm not sure, but they're getting ready down there, so they might be these guys or the next guys after this. I'm not really sure. Can you look at the list there, Paul?
Well, we got Davis.
Yes.
Davis is the 6'5" guy.
Yeah, so 6'5's coming up.
Yeah. This ought to be fun to watch.
Yeah, Latvian dudes.
Yeah, we're mentioning that because 6'5 PRC is a little bit of a small round for this discipline.
Yeah.
But he's having great success so far. So it's going to be interesting just to see how far he can run it out and make it work.
Yeah, he was shooting well, the past days. I mean, he's having high, good scores and everything. But he's like the 153 A tip, because got a high BC, so it'll carry out there. It'll just be very hard to see and make corrections.
Right.
And he's shooting it out of a Tika action with just a very thick barrel. Because in Latvia they have certain regulations on the important firearms, especially custom guns, that just makes it very hard to get custom rifles in there. So they make the best of what they can get. And so far it's been going pretty good for them.
Yeah.
Well, they came with a good presence this match. A nice solid team. So I think they're...
They did catch that impact, by the way.
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
It's nice as a shooter to have a good team backing you up with teammates getting, it's there
This
you
is
see
so
them
nice,
getting
too.
his bipod ready, and you got one spotter in the back there.
Yeah.
Makes you have to, as a shooter, it'll induce less stress on you.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys shoot a lot over in the Eastern Europe, in Poland and everything, a lot of 1,000-meter matches, so it's not their first rodeo.
Well, it's good to see him at these matches, and they'll probably make it to France next year as well for the King of 1 Mile.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the PRC is more suitable for that than when you're stretching out to 2K. But
Well, even at King of 2 Mile in France, the team from Poland came in and won it this year.
Really? Nice.
So I personally hadn't met these guys before, but they came in and won the match, so great performance.
Definitely.
In fact, if I remember right, they hit the 2 mile plate as well.
Wow.
So
There's not a lot of people that do that.
It was good shooting.
2 miles is further than most people think. You just talk, oh, it's 2 miles. It's like, yeah, it's 3,200 meters.
And they're shooting factory equipment. It wasn't even a custom rifle.
Really?
It was a factory Victrix.
Nice. That's good. I mean, these days you can get a lot of good factory rifles. Like they're.
Yes.
It's not like it was 5-10 years ago.
No.
Got that zero compromise scope in there.
20 секунд.
20 seconds.
Спокойно.
Five seconds.
This ought to be fun to watch. The 6.5 PRC.
Go.
Готов. Не видел, да.
I don't think he saw it.
Сделай ниже 0,2.
And as we were saying, the 6.5, this is a challenge. You have less energy on impact out there, so it's going to give less of a signature, making it a little more challenging on the spotter.
Definitely.
.65 PRC. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
But I tell you that signature though on a spotting scope is very small. It's a very tough.
True.
It's very tough to see.
But he's got good quality glass on the spotter as well.
Absolutely.
So it should be doable. But
Absolutely. No,
challenging.
I'm just saying that the smaller the cartridge, the smaller the energy, the harder.
Yeah.
But that one was good enough to he saw that for sure. But different with a bigger bullet and more energy. Yeah. That's a pretty good splash.
That's a good splash. More than I would expect, actually.
Well, not only that, but at that range, you're really stretching literally stretching the legs on the ballistics of that bullet, and the wind is way more sensitive.
Exactly.
So you have to really be on your game. Not to say that you can't do well, but you really have to be on your game for wind.
Definitely.
Where with a 300 grain bullet going 3,200 feet per second, you can kind of mess up and still hit the target.
Definitely.
Well, the 6.5, you got to have it within.
Well, I've seen that. Now we shoot the hunter matches at Spear Point this year. I'm shooting a 6.5 out to 2,200, and it's
challenging.
It's a challenging thing to do.
No, it'd be like shooting a big gun at maybe 2 miles, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have an ELR match in Sweden that goes out to 2,024 meters, and like every year there's some guy who winks in a couple of shots with their 6.5s, because 6.5, 55 Sweden and everything, but they just go out there for fun, and it's impressive every year to see them hit that target. But we run a slightly bigger target than this, because this is what, 0.4? And we run the 0.6 pretty much, so it makes a huge difference to add 0.2 mils.
This is just this is a little under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Target.
I think there's 0.4 mil wide.
Yeah.
0.4,
well, 2 minutes is going to be about 0.7.
No, this is like probably
2 minutes is like 0.5 mils.
No, it's 0.6.
0.6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But this is under. This is about 0.5, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not big for this distance.
No, it's not.
It's very
small. Sub 2 minutes.
It's under 2 minutes. Easily, yeah.
So maybe 1.75 minutes of angle, which is 5 mil, 0.5 mil, somewhere around there.
Видел, да. Ветер идеально.
Sounds like you saw that one, because there's more words. I don't speak Latvian, but it was more words than the first target.
Yeah.
Maybe he said I couldn't see it.
Oh, well, yeah, in a long way.
Yeah, we'll see. But this is very challenging. 2,000 meters with a 6.5 PRC. And this is a challenging target. It's a sub 2 minute of angle target, .5 mil, and you got vegetation. It's difficult. If those bullets are hitting in here, you're not going to see nothing.
Еще выше драйв. Ветер идеально, сейчас скажу.
So we're just hoping and praying that he hits in some dirt. that you can see
Yeah,
the
because if he goes into the grass, you see nothing.
That's right.
Готов.
So this is where we start doing like a 2-minute correction and just hope that we can see something. Because if you just keep shooting the same spot, you could be hitting the same weeds.
Yeah. On
But
this target 7 there, we can't see here on the screen is that you have a very big rock face up at 11 o'clock on the target.
Yeah.
Some of the guys said that they were going to do, if they didn't hit the first 2 shots, they were going to go up. And if they saw nothing on the first, they were going to go up and try to shoot the rock face.
Yeah, I mean, it's some people have different strategies. I would trust my.
Did you hear that? It was the swishing
Yeah,
sound.
maybe you heard it. Yeah.
It was just.
But I would, I trust my dope, and I would, generally speaking, if you miss the target and you don't see anything, I always come down because it probably is behind the plate.
Yeah.
That's my first intuition.
Absolutely.
And after that, then I might try doing like a 2-minute block, up 2 minutes, right, something.
Yeah.
But if you just keep shooting the same spot,
Yeah, there's no point in that.
you have to trust your zeros and trust your.
Yeah, you start getting conflicting because on one hand you want to trust your data to be near the target, but on the other hand you need to see your impact. So you need to get away to where you can find a spot where it'll show up for you.
Yeah.
2.8. Готов.
Sometimes what you'll find is you don't see your first shot. Then you go to an area where you can find your impact and you shoot it, and it shows you that your data is good. And you go back up and you're on the target. So it makes you wonder where the first one was.
I saw it.
No, it went off there.
Yeah, I saw it. That's tough with a 6.5 PRC.
Yeah, you're really stretching it.
They were close though. I think they were happy to even be within fighting range.
Absolutely. Even the first plate, they were right on it.
Yeah.
But again, the wind is starting to pick up, and with a bullet that small, it's very difficult.
And the fact we're not much far off sea level either, so there's.
Yep.
The air density is thick.
Well, you can't lose sight that he's in the finals as well. In fact, he had a strong finish, not even just making. He was well his way, well into the finals.
Yeah,
so
he was
there's
well
more to
into
it. He had a very strong preliminary run.
Yeah, the first short range he did was very good.
Yeah.
We have 2 shooters left, Paul?
I'm just looking that up right now. See how many. I think we have 2 shooters left. Yeah. Let's see here. We have, I don't know how to say this.
Quentin.
Valderon.
That's his last name. So it's Quentin Valderon.
He's a French guy.
Yep.
Quentin
Valderon.
Well, Quentin's his spotter. I shared his spotter for this match, so that was Chris Battison. So I've been.
The shooter is a French guy.
And
He's,
David.
Quentin Valderon. He shot in a 300 Norma Magnum.
Okay, 300 Norma. Well, this ought to be fun to watch.
Yeah. He's a good shooter. It's not a long time he do the competition, but he's a very good shooter. Pour la petite partie en français, I will just speak in French 1 second. Pour la petite partie en français, Quentin, ça fait pas très longtemps qu'il fait de la compétition, ça fait une année qu'il est rentré dans le circuit et c'est un très bon tireur et un très bon technicien. Ses rechargements, je les trouve très bons personnellement et je trouve que c'est aussi une très bonne personne. Donc j'ai hâte de voir un peu les résultats qui vont être faits là maintenant. I'm sorry guys.
No, it's perfectly fine.
You gotta talk to the home audience.
Yeah, exactly. He could have said anything about us 3, but
Probably did.
we'd never know. All kinds of things.
No, Danny Gilbert shot at 300 Norma also.
Yes, he did.
Is this improved?
Yes.
So the Swedish
Is this
guy,
a normal 300 Norma?
I honestly don't know.
Swedish guy Peder Westman who shot earlier, he's shooting a Norma Mag improved as well. With I think he's running the 245 burgers there.
Yeah, that's an awesome cartridge.
Oh yeah, no, I still regret selling mine. I just didn't have time to do both PRS and ELR, and I ended up selling 300 Norma.
I'm building a hunting rifle right now. It's a new one, and it's a 300 Norma standard.
Yeah.
and with the 245 burger.
Nice.
I'm really excited. 1 and 8 twist.
Mhm.
I'm excited because they've been doing really well in the Night Force ELAR Challenge.
Yeah. Oh, they've been doing well since the cartridge was released.
And Danny's been killing it.
Absolutely.
In the States
Danny
with
and Jeff Medlin have both been running that. Really
Medlin,
a lot
yeah.
of
I mean,
success.
they've been just killing it. So that's, I mean, I'm not going to say chase who wins, but you have to definitely pay attention to it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I always found the Norma cartridge to be very easy to get low SD and ES on. It's very forgiving to load to good numbers.
Well, we're seeing a lot more of them in light class matches these days. I think if that number is going to improve or increase next year.
So it's 12:20, and we got 2 more shooters, so we should be done by 1.
Definitely.
So it's a beautiful day, and then we can go have pizza and pasta.
Absolutely.
Gotta fill up on gluten.
Yeah. My wife says no more pizza when we get home, so I gotta eat what I can.
Exactly.
But hey, if you're in Sicily, you have to have.
You
pizza.
have to.
Yeah, no, the food's been awesome over here. As you said earlier, it's really a destination.
It is. It is. Very cool. Did you come here last year?
No, I was just doing commentary from Dallas.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
If I'm going to do that, I'm going to come out here. And
Did you say that the wind was easy? What's wrong with you guys?
The wind wasn't bad at all for my desk.
Typer sniper.
Yeah. It's always different when it's your time to shoot, and everybody's watching, and you got to look down and make that call.
Yeah.
It's
And
way
then you
different.
You lay down and you feel that extra gust on your cheek, and it's like, I wonder if my initial wind call was right.
Yeah. But that's the challenge, though.
Oh yeah, that's what makes it fun.
And I always said, the proof is in the performance. You can talk all you want online. You can talk all you want to your buddies at the bar, but the points at the end of the day, that's the proof in the performance. That's really the measuring tape.
Yeah. Definitely.
Nope, right there.
Did you see it?
Yep.
Up in the berm behind there.
Yep. And then the other thing the saying is there's kind of like golf. There's always another hole. Right? So if you mess up, you can just try again another day.
Short memory is very useful.
Yeah.
And also the old Swedish saying is that the more you practice, the luckier you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't see that one.
No. I mean, if he is high and went over the target, it's very hard for us from the camera to see.
Yeah. And it's quite possible that he could be behind the plate and not have no signature.
Exactly.
Or be behind a barricade. One of the
a lot of barricades on this target, or banners for the sponsors.
Banners,
It's just a lot of things.
Well, you have the banners and you have the number. I mean, it could be behind any of that stuff.
Definitely.
But it's the same for everybody.
Exactly.
So
that's the important thing.
Oh, yep, right
There
there.
it is.
So he probably went over top.
Yeah, because that sand berm behind is probably another 30, 40 yards behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may not have seen the impact. They probably saw the dust off of that one, the cloud eventually.
Mm-hmm.
What rifle is he shooting?
They said it was a 6.
It's a PGM.
PGM.
300 Norma PGM.
Okay.
Yeah. He and Chris both shoot the PGM.
He's trying to find the target right now.
How much time do they have on this?
They got a long time.
They got a long time.
Yeah, I mean it
was 12 minutes the other day.
Yeah, I mean it's more than enough time.
Absolutely.
To take your time on this, and I like that. I like to give the shooters more time.
Yeah.
In a finals situation, I think you should take your time and.
That's a lot of extremely long time from what we're used to shooting. This is.
But I think in a final situation, I think you should let those guys have a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, and get the shooting done as opposed to being the time being.
Well,
a
I mean,
factor.
it's very difficult the longer ranges to read the wind. Time of flight's a little bit longer. I mean, there's definitely within reason, I think, in a finals situation.
Definitely looked like he was shooting standard 300 norma there. He put the mag in.
I don't think he saw anything.
I don't think so.
So this is the question. What do you do when you miss? Well, my golden rule is come down in a minute because it could be behind the plate. But
Ok, élévation 210, tu me mets 200, enlève 10. 200.
So there, I think they're trying some things here. He just went up, I think, or down. Actually, I think he went down. Yeah, he went down, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he called him down 2 minutes.
Which is good. That's good. That's a standard rule of thumb, if you can't see the impact.
I'm starting to feel an extra breeze here as well. So the wind is picking up a little bit.
226 up, 27 left.
It's adjusting elevation there.
Et on doit être à 27 left. On a 2
Must have seen
minutes, il en
something.
reste 3 si je suis pas mal. Ok, donc 2 minutes, 3 coups, on est zen. Putain, c'est incroyable, vas-y. On voit. Ouvre ta culasse. Ok.
Yeah, you saw it there.
12 clics à droite, 4 clics en bas.
I think he's done, isn't he?
12 à droite,
No, he
4
has
clics
one
en bas.
more shot.
One more, okay. I think he got
Here,
excited,
calling
so
to the
I think
right.
he heard it.
2 minutes, enchaîne.
Yeah, I think he saw that one. That
Ta
time.
culasse et attends. Finish. Oh putain.
Yeah,
It's hard.
He called it off to the right on his spot.
Ah, it was
I think he was going to shoot another one, huh?
Yeah.
What if you can get away with it?
Okay, one more. Let's see, it's David shooting a 338 Lapua.
So Paul, what's your take on the advantages of a 338 compared to like a heavy 30 cal at these distances? More than signature.
Yeah, well, I mean, first and foremost, it's a bigger bullet, so you're more able to see the trace.
Naturally, yes.
Right, so that helps you spot. If you can't see the bullet hit the ground, the next best thing is to watch the trace. If it's on the right-hand side or left-hand side. So it gives you an idea if you leave this right or left. The next thing would be BC is a little better to buck the wind.
Yeah.
But you get a 300 normal with a 245.
They're pretty
darn
similar
close.
to 300.
But
300
I mean,
338.
yeah. So if you get to that level, that could be a little bit different. But bigger, rounder, a bigger caliber bullet is a little easier to see trace, and that could be the difference right there.
Yeah. Because if you don't have to spot it yourself, you got a spotter. That's
Absolutely.
That 338
but if you can pick up that trace, seeing is everything.
Yeah.
If you can't see, what are you gonna do?
Not much.
You could have a quarter-minute rifle, but if your spotter doesn't see anything, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
So
Now you're talking about bullets as well, and this is a wind cut, guys. This is a wind cut. They're shooting their own bullet. Most guys can't really say that. So it's a nice proving ground for them to show their product.
Definitely. I've heard about their bullets for a long time. I've just never seen anyone shoot them. They're not really became popular up in Scandinavia, but I've heard Southern Europeans use them quite a bit.
So it looks like he's shooting 338 Lapua, and apparently he's got a wind cut. So is that like 300 grain or something?
I think it is 300.
Yeah. So last shooter.
And the guy shooting is the guy who runs the business, or?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I've talked to his spotter just with texts and emails, things of that nature. sometimes with the 460 Steyr, we have supply issues on bullets. So I was looking at Windcut as a possible supplier.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet there's hard to get volume of the 460s.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Then I had been shooting a brass bullet that it was Thunder ammo, but it was a brass, and it was cut by Lehigh. And then Lehigh got out of the ELR business, so we had to find another shop to cut the bullets.
Now, was Roberto shooting wind cuts also?
Yeah.
Okay. He did really good, Roberto.
Yeah.
It's a rebarrel TRG 42 by the looks of it.
Come si carica a canale? Intanto è a 6. Intanto è a 6, quindi è buono.
Yeah, they've got better lighting conditions. When Roberto was shooting, he was struggling with the glare in his eyes through the scope.
It was brutal earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
It was really tough.
Yeah, we shot first in preliminaries, and it was very difficult to see. He really struggled seeing the target, the shadows, and the sun.
Yeah.
That's hard. Less wind, but visibility is terrible. I mean, I don't know what you want. But for me, I'd rather shoot in the sun where I can actually see the...
Exactly.
Because if you miss...
Don't like to shoot blind.
A lot of people this morning, they couldn't see their impacts.
No, I'd rather take more wind and better visibility than the other way around.
I want to... Well, again, if you don't see it...
Yeah. What can you do?
You're just guessing. And what's frustrating is you could be only a minute off the plate.
Absolutely.
And not know where you're hitting. So hopefully you guess right.
I said before, that's what happened to King this year. I was shot in the rain on T3, which is a dirt background, and no signature whatsoever on the feedbacks. And it was just off the edge. Just had to guess which edge.
Right there.
Yep.
Punto 2 left.
So he saw it.
0.2 left.
0.2 left.
Man, we're getting fluent in Italian.
And then 0.3 up. That's a good call.
Well, we don't know the angle, right? So on video it looked pretty good, but he's got a better idea.
Well, it looks like, based on thinking that if it was in the plane of the target, that was a reasonable.
But I remember from before, though, we had thought it was over here, but it's different. So
yeah.
But he saw it. He should hit this.
Send it.
Oh, right there.
Yep.
So he went from here to there. So.
But it is quite a big distance between the target and the berm in the back there, so it's hard for us from this point of view to see.
So he's going down.
That's a major, because he came up and left. Now he's going down and right.
And again, I always say center the group, right? Yeah. So those shots could be high or low in your velocity. So you always have to think about centering the group. So just sometimes we can chase our bullets too much. Like we don't know if it was a high or low shot in the group.
Yeah, you don't know where your cone is.
So sometimes you may want to go half correction. Oh, yeah. That's definitely low.
Correzioni.
Yeah. Given the wind, the angle of the camera and everything, looked like the wind call was solid. So.
Ok, allora 19,5.
Give some good information for the next target.
Yeah, they've got wind now for going to the next one.
This feels pretty. The wind feels pretty consistent right now from up where we're sitting. So.
Aggiungi punto 1.
Vado 1 left?
Sì. Vai anche 0,5 up in più. Che adesso sei andato basso. Ok.
I use this time just for I have a special thanks for Paul, Jay, and Chuck Noyce.
Oh, thanks.
Because it's really interesting to hear you guys.
Yeah, it's easy to sit here and talk. It's harder to shoot.
No, yeah.
But no, it's very difficult. It's much difficult when you're shooting and spotting. It's easy for us to armchair everybody, but it's much more difficult to go there and prove through performance on demand on the clock. It's much more difficult.
Can take it to the next level and get on the forums when we get home and just say how bad everyone was.
Yeah.
Oh, they should have seen that. It's totally up to the left.
Yeah, I mean, we need to support each other.
Yeah, I was just messing with you.
You see a lot of names on forums that have never shown up at a match.
Or weren't at the match.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the biggest part. Like you weren't.
That's
you weren't there.
even worse when someone talks about something they've never even been to the match or been there to.
Yeah.
I tend to not spend much time on those forums.
No, it was years since I logged in on anything.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I can't say enough how awesome this match is, how well ran it is. Brad did an amazing job. Great destination. Definitely want to come back to this one for sure.
I've never seen live streaming done as good as this. I mean, with us commentating, you got the really high definition cameras, live scoring, everything. It's very well done.
It's a standard. I wish I'd like to see other match directors follow suit.
I think that everybody in the world needs to contact Rod and talk to him about his concept because it's the best by far that I've been to.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
Best by far.
We ran at the IPRF World Championship last month. We had a crew going on doing live streaming all over the days, but we obviously, since we had some 80, 90 targets, we couldn't have target cameras and everything. But and 370 shooters, no, 270 shooters. But we tried. But this is something else.
Sandy.
Impact.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. First round
right,
hit.
punto, uno down.
It helps when you hit the first plate.
That sure does.
That's a lot of points in there.
That's 10,000 points. That one, right? That one shot.
Yeah, he's centering him up now. He's coming down 0.1, right 0.1. So it's always nice when your spotter can see the impacts and bring you centered up.
Yeah, he needs to run it.
Ok. Punto 2 right.
Ok.
He must have been off the left edge.
Yeah. It's hard to see from us, from our side here then, with the camera angle.
I didn't hear him call for any vertical correction. He was just coming right.
Spigolo alto sinistra.
Ok, non tocchiamo niente.
No, rivai così. Spot e ready.
Tempo?
1 minuto. Send it. Non l'ho vista là. C'hai 39 secondi, 2 colpi. Tira giù punto 2. Scendi punto 2.
Ok.
Vai. 30 secondi, 2 colpi. Spot e ready.
Ready.
Send it. Ok.
There.
Yeah.
Ridai.
Have to put another camera so we can see where Paul points on the screen.
Yeah. We saw that. It looked like it was on the right edge of the target.
Spot e ready.
Definitely right of the target.
Send it.
Bummer. Good job though. First round impact.
That was
very good.
First round
impressive.
impact is always impressive.
Good job. First rounder, that's 10,000 points. That's huge. That'll move him up in the rankings.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for today where not too many impacts, that's going to be huge.
No, it's going to make
That probably moved him, could be 10 spots maybe.
Probably more.
Maybe 15 spots. That's it, boys.
That's
it for the day. You got top 20 rankings here now? Oh, it's tied up with the top two there between Tony and
Yeah,
Drew.
we're going to have to take a one look at one here real quick. 180 points.
That's not a lot at a match like this.
No, I thought we had a second round impact on our first target. We'll take a look real quick. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, good job, guys.
So everyone can look at their favorite shooter, favorite nationality, and see how they're placing here. It's we've always been saying here now that it's a fantastic venue to come shoot. It was nice to see we had a good presence from, I believe it was 17 different countries being represented in this match. The number of shooters compared to last year was probably about 3 to 4 times of what we had last year. So the growth, and it was also really good to see that Rod did a fantastic job of scaling the match.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's still got some growth potential. You add another firing lane and another set of targets. You could easily switch it up to 120 shooters, and I don't think if he offers 120 slots, I don't think that's going to be hard to fill up next year.
And he's
the way it was running, it was just fantastic to see the rhythm. What was very strange is normally you go into a match with a plan.
Yeah.
And then after you get started, whether it's camera failures or one thing or another, you don't stay on schedule.
Yeah.
And Rod did a fantastic job, and his crew. I mean, it's not him personally necessarily. He's got his whole support staff did a fantastic job of keeping this match on track, keeping it running as per plan.
Yeah.
Hardly ever see that.
No, it's good. Even those times when we had like the camera failure there and other things like that, when you got 45 minutes to an hour behind schedule, they closed that gap pretty quickly and finished on time at the end of the day. And it's very good work. That's hard to do.
So this is a fantastic way to end the ELR season for most of us. Very huge highlight.
Ok, allora con quest'ultimo tiratore David Marcoret si conclude questa competizione. Ora lasciamo spazio a Rod che procederà a fare qualche intervista ai tiratori e subito dopo prenderanno atto le premiazioni.
Goodbye. Thanks.